What's up?
Barely shit drawers.
What's up? Episode 5, Barely Shit Drawers. Episode 5, Barely Shit
I think this is. Oh yeah, it is episode 5.
Episode 5, dude.
I got 6.
Episode 5, dude. It should be
Back
6.
Took a 2-week hiatus from the shit show that is Barely Shit Drawers.
A little bit crazy.
Yeah, a little bit nuts. I haven't got that nuts in a while, to tell you the truth. I haven't got that drunk in a good 2 years.
There you go, dude.
So I'll explain my story. So my birthday was 2 weeks ago. So my wife surprised me, and we went on a beer train in Sacramento. And I got this beer.
Was it in Old Town Sac?
Yeah, it was
that's cool.
Pie of the Tiger
Mm.
by a Fresno beer. It's a sour with vanilla and lactose and vanilla lemon. It's like a lemon meringue pie sour. It basically tastes like lemon meringue pie. So my wife surprised me. We went out on a wine train. You can pull up the picture of me.
Oh, boy.
So I got pretty sloshed. So basically this wine train, it's not Old Town. It's like Woodland, and you kind of go into Sacramento, like down the river, and then you kind of go into some like farms and stuff, but they give you drink tickets, and it's basically a big ass party train. So they give you 8 drink tickets, which each drink ticket is a glass of wine or a glass of beer. And dude, I was sloshed, like absolutely
bring up this
shit-faced.
picture.
Actually shit-faced to where, like, one of those times where you ride in the car and you actually feel like you're gonna get drunk. Now, the funny thing about that picture too is I sat there with my phone trying to take a selfie. I knew how drunk I was, and I was trying to take a selfie of myself with my phone just to show like a turnt picture of myself, and I couldn't do it. So I grabbed my wife's phone and took a picture of myself on hers.
You legitimately have 4 eyeballs on that picture. Dude, that's literally Turnt 2.0.
So that's where the Pie of the Tiger came from.
That's fucking epic.
Mm.
That's funny because I had a very similar week in my week off from Barely Shit Drawers. I went out to Tennessee with my cousin Kel and a couple of our buddies. And I think it's the first time we've all been together since the pandemic. So we kind of went nuts. And I threw up twice within 24 hours. The first throw up was purely because of drinking. I was just fucking hammered. I woke up at like 2 in the morning that night and went and gagged myself because it just wasn't good. And then the next day, hella hungover, like fucking miserable. We're going out in downtown Nashville, and they're known for their hot chicken. And they had this place that has like the hottest hot chicken. And it literally, the name of the chicken was like, "You're out of your clucking mind." So we're like, all right, fuck it, let's just get some of those. That shit was so hot, it was not even like humanly edible. So yeah, that was throw up number 2. Once that went down, it was not good.
Oh god.
But hey, it was fun. Nashville was really cool.
I've never been to Nashville.
Oh, dude, it's so cool. It's such a cool city.
And I've always wanted to go. Because a lot of people go there, like, and they're like, "Oh my god, I had so much fun in Nashville. I had so much fun in Nashville."
So, like, the thing with Nashville is apparently it's, like, super known for being, like, a bachelorette city.
Mm-hmm.
So, you can if you go into Nashville with that mindset, you kind of see how everything's, like, geared for that.
Mm.
But it was a lot of fun. I mean, there's a ton of bars, really good food. And, like, just outside of Nashville, there's a bunch of, like, rivers and stuff if you want to do, like, hikes or, like, go swimming or whatever. It was cool. It's a pretty cool city. And, I mean, for me, it was awesome, too, because I'm so sick of the fucking pandemic. That's one of the few places I've been in the last year and a half where it's just, like, fully wide open. No one gives a shit. You can do whatever the fuck you want. So, it was nice to kind of escape California and be in an environment like that for a couple days.
Did you see PK Subban?
Oh, dude, if I did, it would have been the hands on site.
Just getting checked into the boards as soon as you walked into the bar.
You would have got rocked.
So this week we're going to be talking a little sports. Probably, it seems like forever for me, but the NFL has finally started. We got some week 1 preseason action.
Hell yeah.
And this is probably the first time in, God, I'd probably say 8 years that I've actually watched a preseason game.
You getting excited for the Browns?
Dude, I'm so excited for the Browns.
No, this year in particular, I feel like is really exciting because of rookies. Like, it's a big rookie year, I feel.
Yeah.
There's so much hype behind, like, Trevor Lawrence, Trey Lance, Justin Fields, and they're all on teams that are, like, 2 of those teams are completely shit teams. And it's kind of curious to see, like, are those quarterbacks going to be able to pull an Andrew Luck and just, like, turn them around instantly? And then for the 49ers, I don't think the 49ers are a shit team, but we got a really good quarterback on a decent team. So, obviously that's exciting. And I'm a 49er fan, so I'm super pumped for that.
Yeah, you got the 3 guys you mentioned. You also got Mac Jones and Zach Wilson.
Yeah, true. Yeah, the Jets. I forgot about the Jets.
Rookie quarterbacks, are the talk of the preseason.
Mm-hmm.
And I think just the other factor too is just it's the preseason, dude. It's like football starting. Like, we've been through all these weird schedules of basketball and baseball's kind of fully in swing, but all these other sports, and it's like a normal season of football has started. Like, last year we didn't get a preseason.
Right.
They just ran right into the regular season, but now we get a preseason. I think it's cool too because from what I've seen so far, and we can kind of discuss this right now, but there's teams that'll play their starters. Like, you look at the Chiefs against the Niners, you look at the Chiefs playing tonight, they played their starter. They played Patrick Mahomes through the first quarter into the second quarter.
I didn't see that.
Where the Browns didn't play a single soul in the first preseason game and ain't going to do it in their second preseason game.
Yeah.
Just because they're trying not to get hurt. So, right. I mean, that's a little weird concept for me, right? Like if it was me and I was playing football, dude, I'd want to get my reps. I'd want to get practice.
Hell yeah.
Preseason game. Like,
I don't care how, like, if I was the best player in the world, I would still want at least a first quarter. At least a first quarter. Get hit a couple times, get my legs under me, wake up, get my body, like, back in the sync of things before it's just, like, go, go, go.
And you see it from the Chiefs especially. Like, Patrick Mahomes is like, I'm going out there because I'm trying to get better. Like, I'm trying to get in sync with these guys in a live-action game. You saw it with the Cardinals too, although DeAndre Hopkins didn't play tonight. But you saw with the Cardinals kind of doing the same thing. And then you got, the Patriots did the same thing. And then you got, half of the other teams that won't even throw their starters on the field, which I don't like. The Browns are doing it this year. I don't really agree with it.
Yeah. Because they're going to be sluggish out the gate.
Well, yeah. And it's like, so you're going to play in fear of getting an injury. So if they do go in a preseason game, they're just going to be fearful that they're going to get injured. And like, you kind of set the precedent for that, right?
And if they're that fragile, I mean, who's to say they don't get injured week 1?
Yeah, exactly.
They're football players. Like, that's their job. Go out there and compete. And the best chance of them competing and winning is if they get a little bit of time in the preseason to warm up.
Yeah. Yeah, big time. So the first game we had last week, we had a couple games on today, so we can touch on those on the last part of it. But the first game we had last week with a rookie quarterback, we'll really touch on rookie quarterbacks today, and really 3 of the top ones that Tith named, with Justin Fields, Trey Lance, and Trevor Lawrence. But the first game was my boy Justin Fields, OH. Kind of mad he left early because I think we got to the national championship game last year, but I think he would have let him. I think the Buckeyes would have won the national championship this year if he stayed. But got to go get that money. Justin Fields he played hella well.
I thought he looked really good, especially for a rookie in his first game ever. He looked pretty fucking like solid. He was composed.
Yeah. And the fact is, like, the Bears are not a bad team. They made their playoffs last year. They have a really good defense. So he's kind of set up for success a little bit.
Allen Robinson, he's gonna have a big year.
Current position. Not to say he's gonna start the year, because Andy Dalton probably will. But I mean, if he does come in, I mean, he's kind of got a good thing going for him.
And Andy Dalton won't last 3 games, dude.
Yeah, he played against the second and third team because he played in the second quarter and then he went in the third.
Yeah.
His second quarter was not the greatest,
It
but
wasn't bad though.
No, it wasn't bad. He fumbled the ball. He just kind of
That was that was like the only mistake he made, I felt. And you can kind of like when you watch the play over, it was just like one of those things where he's like, oh, okay, like these guys are bigger and stronger. But like I don't think that's something he's going to be doing often. I don't think it's going to be like a problem for him. I think it was just like a shock factor for a second.
Yeah. No, and in the third quarter, he just came out firing. He was running.
Yeah.
He was just in his groove, right? Like he is so athletic, and he's like a littler Cam Newton. And the
kind of, yeah, totally.
A little. He's not 6'5", 6'6". He's like 6'3", but he kind of runs like him. He kind of throws like him. He's got a powerful arm. I think the Bears got a steal in Justin Fields.
He's a beast. And how did he go so late?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, if I look at him compared to Trey Lance, they're not far apart. And the Niners gave up 3 first-round draft picks and picked him at number 3.
Well,
Justin Fields went at like 9 or whatever the hell he went at.
I think Trey Lance has better potential because he's got a bigger arm.
He might have a higher ceiling, but like it's not guaranteed.
No,
and I think
for neither guys.
I think right now they're not too far apart. I think they're both really good. I really like Trey Lance, especially what I've seen from him, not just in the preseason but also in training camp. But when the Niners were making their pick, I would have been happy if they picked Justin Fields at number 3. Honestly, for me, it was between Justin Fields and Trey Lance. Like those were the 2 guys I wanted.
Young Frankenstein 11 says hello. Hey, Young Frankenstein.
What's up, Young Frank?
Yeah,
it's just crazy that the Bears got him for so cheap, considering that I'm not an expert, I'm not a fucking GM, but I would have been okay with the Niners picking him at 3.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll get to the your boy Trey Lance, Trey Area. I'll give you my opinion on the game, but go for it, dude. You're fucking Niners.
So,
bang bang Niner gang.
Literally the second play of his career, the second NFL throw he ever made was like a 50-yard touchdown. Which is just epic. Like, there's no better way to just come out and make a statement as a rookie than just be like, oh, I missed the first throw? Okay, give me 1 second. Bat! Touchdown, 50 yards. And the guy he actually threw to is a cool story, too. Sherfield. He's been killing. He's been dominating in camp. He was a guy that they thought wasn't even going to make the roster. And he slid up the depth chart. He's probably going to make it in the top 7 for our receivers, which is cool. He's been killing it in camp. He obviously showed off his speed. And, between the 2 guys, I was pretty excited. That was a huge play. It was fucking epic.
Yeah.
After that... Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say you could play the highlight video behind us.
Yeah, let me throw that. That's definitely worth the watch. Let's pull that up real quick.
Yeah, and actually I want to say it was his first throw. He kind of moved up in the pocket. He kind of ran around a little bit, created some space, and he threw a dime to Brandon Ayuk. Like threw an absolute dime.
He threw a couple of really good throws.
And Ayuk dropped it.
Yeah.
It was a really bad throw.
I know exactly what you're talking about. That pissed me off. Was that the first throw?
I think that
might have been the first throw, yeah.
Because I think it was 3rd and long, I want to say. And it was he kind of avoided 2 guys.
Yeah.
I'll point out the biggest issue in his debut is the offensive line was fucking terrible for the Niners.
So
he had no time.
Part of the problem is they actually started Jimmy as the starting quarterback, and they only gave him his 10 throws or whatever the fuck he did. And then they put in Lance with the second-string offensive line. Our first-string offensive line is banged up. So it's not looking pretty. It's not great. And to take those, whatever fucking we have, for our first string and give them to Jimmy, and then leave Trey Lance with whatever's left over, dude, those guys are pathetic. They probably wouldn't even make a team if they were on any other team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, our backup offensive line is atrocious. So, he was working with dog shit. He was being pressured all night. It was ridiculous. He got sacked, 4 times?
So, I think it was 5 times. And he fumbled
maybe
once.
5. Yeah, it was ugly. The offensive line play was terrible.
I think he threw, in my opinion, and maybe I'm missing a couple throws. I think he threw 2 bad throws.
I can think of one that I didn't particularly love. It was over the guy's head, pretty high and wide. Could have easily been intercepted.
He was coming. The tight end was coming across the middle, and he threw it.
I didn't like that throw. Yeah, that one was like, ooh.
The other one should have been intercepted, but it was the corner was playing shallow, probably like cover 3 or something, cover 2, and he dropped on the pass, and Trey Lance didn't see him at all.
I remember that one. Yeah,
which that's just he's still learning, right. So it's not like it's a bad throw. He looked open, and it was just good zone defense.
That was the one where the corner came from the right side of the field and just kind of snuck it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That one, I kind of was like, ooh, like that's, he'll get better with that and being able to see the field more. It wasn't a terrible throw. I mean, that's a throw that a lot of quarterbacks are going to make. But the one where he sailed it over the guy's head, that one pissed me off.
Yeah. Well, the one where he came in. So this is the drop. This is first down. Yeah, first down. So he threw a dime to Ayuk.
Literally off his chest.
And he was looking upfield. I think this is
the bomb right here.
Yeah. Sure.
No, that's the sack. One of many.
Look how, you know what?
Look how fast that collapsed. He had no time.
Chris Jones is a problem.
Yeah, he's
Chris Jones.
Look at our That's Chris Daniel Brunskill. That's our starting right guard, which is terrifying.
Chris Jones is a monster. I watched him play today, and he was just insane.
This is it. Look at that.
Yeah,
he wasn't even looking that direction. He was looking left and immediately threw it across his body 50 yards. Touchdown.
Yeah. That's like effortless.
And like zero windup. Just like a wrist flick.
That's that Patrick Mahomes kind of style.
It is. It totally is.
I think that's what he reminds me of the most, is Patrick Mahomes. Just the way he plays, his body type, how he kind of gets out of pressure.
Shifts his hips for 1 second, and then just all wrist.
Rips it across the field.
Jimmy couldn't throw that throw if he was fucking set up and ready.
Dude, that'd be picked off like at the 30-yard line. He wouldn't even make it there.
That's crazy. Yeah, that dude, Trey Lance is no joke. He's I'm super excited. And the more I hear about training camp, so have you been you're probably not following all the 49ers training camp stuff.
A little bit.
So they've been practicing with the Chargers the last couple days. They've had 2 joint practices. And Jimmy has thrown 4 interceptions. It was like 4 interceptions in his last 5 drives.
Oh, wow.
It's bad, dude. They said his interception average right now is like 3.8 out of all of his throws or whatever. It's really bad. And then on the opposite side of things, Trey Lance is just dominating. There's a play.
Go ahead.
In practice against the Chargers, he threw an absolute dime to Juwan Jennings, and it's ridiculous. Like, literally, it was one of those throws where I'm just like, God, that's like a Drew Brees type of throw. And coming from a guy who's a scrambler, like, that's pretty impressive. Because I always feel like the guys who are scramblers aren't great throwers, but it's like, oh, they're athletic enough to make something happen. This dude, when he has time in the pocket, is dropping fucking, like, dimes. Like, absolute perfect dimes.
Well, his like sneaky athletic ability too. Like he can work around the pocket, but not necessarily looking to run, just to buy himself some time.
Yeah.
So that's why he's kind of got that little elusiveness. He's like not the most. He's pretty athletic, but he's not the most athletic guy.
Right. He's not he's not like
a Kyler Murray or
Lamar Jackson. Yeah. He's nothing like those guys. He's definitely more of an authentic passer. But he has that ability to move really smoothly around the pocket, and if he needs to break free, he can get you 10 to 15 yards easily.
Yeah. So his stats didn't look great when you looked at him. So he went 5 for 14, 128 yards. Obviously, he had the big 80-yard play, a touchdown. He had 4 sacks. He got sacked 4 times, like you said. 5 for 14.
Amazing. It should have been more, honestly.
Yeah, 3 of them were drops. Maybe 4 of them were drops actually, and a lot of people that I talked to actually said he didn't have a very good outing to start with. And to tell you the truth, I was pretty jacked about the way he played.
I thought it was pretty damn good. I was very impressed.
Yeah, I mean, I thought he played great. To get off the board and throw a touchdown pass like that, to throw that throw like right off the rip to Ayuk was an absolute seed.
It was a perfect throw. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that actually says a lot about Ayuk because I have really high expectations for Ayuk. Like, in my opinion, he's good enough. I think this year, if not this year, the next year, he's going to be one of those guys who's considered like a top 10 receiver. In my opinion, I think he has the talent for it. And for a guy like him to drop that pass, it just shows that he's not quite ready for that step. And it's a little bit frustrating and disappointing, but he'll be there. I know he'll get there. And especially with Lance at quarterback, dude, that duo is going to be nasty. And then Debo, God.
So another Niners rookie, former Ohio Stater, former Oklahoma running back too, Trey Sherman, got some looks. I
wasn't particularly impressed with him. That's the one I was a little disappointed in.
I wasn't impressed, but I also saw the capabilities. Like he I mean, like we just talked about, the offensive line was fucking horrible.
That's what it came down to. Yeah, they didn't open up anything for him. And George Kittle wasn't there.
Yeah.
Goddamn, I'm blanking. Trent Williams wasn't there. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Those two guys alone will make an entire line.
Running the ball, he kind of got hit at the line of scrimmage every time, and he was able to fall forward. So you saw him break like one or two tackles here or there, but you didn't really get a chance to see him do that much. Nobody else for the Niners really jumped out at me.
Yeah.
Watching that game.
Well, so there's a beat writer for the 49ers. His name is Grant Cohn. I follow him. He's one of those guys who'll have like some crazy takes sometimes, and you think he's an idiot, but other times he has like pretty solid points. He said that he noticed the Niners were running a very vanilla offense that game, and I kind of agree. Like, knowing what Kyle Shanahan has up his sleeve, that was a very basic offense. There wasn't as many play-action passes. He never let Trey outside of the pocket, which you know for a fact he's going to do a shitload of that this season, scrambling. So, I feel like they just kind of ran a boring offense, and that wasn't really a true sign of what they have.
Well, at the same time, everybody in preseason runs a vanilla offense.
That's true.
Like, it's not just, these guys or anything. Everybody. Nobody wants to show their hand in preseason.
Right.
So
But I guess
Chiefs.
I guess my point is Kyle's offense is so unique, and it's really based around play action and tricking people and kind of creating like a diversion, and it's a very run heavy offense. I think with Trey Lance at quarterback, not Jimmy, and our full offensive line, including Trent Williams, George Kittle, all those guys, I think we'll then be able to see the real Trey Sherman. Because Kyle has an ability to take any running back, an average running back, and make him great. So if you take I honestly think Trey Sherman might be the best running back we've had on the team since Kyle Shanahan has been our coach. Like, if you think about Raheem Mostert, that dude was like bouncing. He was on like 7 different teams. He was like a third string running back in like Buffalo or something. Yeah. Special teams. And now he's like looked at as this like one of the best running backs in the league and stuff. It's like, do you think Mostert just woke up one day and became like a baller, or do you think it's all Kyle Shanahan?
He's fast as fuck too.
He is fast as fuck. I'll give him that. Like, physically, he's very fast in a straight line. But I think it's a lot of the scheme and the position he's put in that gives him his success. And I think Trey Sermon's going to be put in that position, and I think he's probably a better running back.
Yeah, Kyle Shanahan did it in Atlanta every year. You know, with Tevin Coleman and all these running backs.
Coleman is a joke, dude. He's not going to be good anywhere other than with Kyle Shanahan.
So I think it was good for the Niners and bad for the Niners. It showed, obviously they're missing some players on their offensive line, but that's what stuck out to me in that game was, the stadium was packed. People went nuts when Trey Lance did a touchdown.
Oh, dude, the Twitter world, you could hear it everywhere. People were just losing their minds.
But that offensive line did not look good.
No. And it's concerning because here's the thing. We have Daniel Brunskill starting. He's our starting right guard. If he gets hurt in the regular season, who the fuck is going to back him up?
Yeah.
Mike Moore?
Yeah. Joe Whaley.
Joe Whaley. Yeah, like literally it's if we lose one guy on our offensive line, we are fucked. Like we have no reserves because we are already using our reserves and the reserves we have aren't great.
Yeah, that's not good.
It's not good. It's kind of disappointing because I feel like our team is so close to being really good and that's easily our biggest weakness.
So we'll compare those numbers from Trey Lance. Justin Fields went 14 for 20, 142 yards, a touchdown, and ran 5 for 33.
Nice. So they actually, Chicago let him kind of break free and run, which is cool.
Yeah. Well, he kind of just, I mean, he had to break out of the pocket a little bit.
Give him a little taste, right?
Mm. So the Browns had a good matchup.
Wait. So what was Lance's numbers again? So he was 14 of 20 for 170 something yards. You said.
Trey Lance was 5 for 14 for, I think it was 140 yards.
Okay, so Justin Fields on paper had a better outing.
Oh yeah, and running had more touchdowns.
And yeah.
Obviously, it's preseason, so you can't take a lot from it, but he did look better. He didn't have as many drops or anything like that.
Right.
But like you said, I mean, it kind of also seemed like, Trey Lance was still kind of learning a little bit. He's a little, herky-jerky a little bit, I'd say. Like, he wasn't as smooth as he could be.
Yeah.
Which is to be expected.
Didn't Justin Fields have a little bit more college experience than Trey Lance?
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
So,
Justin Fields played for 2 years for Ohio State, and he was at Georgia before that.
So he's probably, honestly, just more experienced straight up. He's probably more ready. The Niners probably just saw something in Trey Lance that was like, this guy is unique, and I don't care if he hasn't had...
He's also, he's a competitive quarterback. He's a competitor. Like, he just played, 2 seasons with Ohio State where they went to the college football playoff. One was in the national championship.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's been in big-time games. He's played against big-time competition. And like you said, I mean, Trey Lance is just learning his shit. I mean, he's just kind of like, holy
raw.
shit.
He's a little raw. Yeah.
Holy shit, there's some big guys out here, some fast guys.
Yeah, exactly. Which is crazy to think about. Like that, how old is he? Like 21?
Yeah, which is crazy.
He's like 21. He's out there just getting fucking manhandled by these monsters.
Yeah. So is Justin Fields, same age.
True, yeah.
Just a little, he's built a little different. He's went through a lot more than Trey Lance. It's not to say, Kyle Shanahan could whip him into shape and, he could be the next Patrick Mahomes pretty quick. I mean, if you think about it, like Patrick Mahomes was drafted late and took, what did he take, 2 years, 1 year behind Alex
It was
Smith
like a year and a half, wasn't it? Didn't he come in
Yeah.
like halfway through the season?
I think he just started a year. He kind of came out of nowhere in the fact that I think it was his second year. He played behind Alex Smith for a year, and the Chiefs were really good. And then they're just like, all right,
They gave him to Washington.
we're starting Patty.
Yeah. Well, obviously that was the right choice.
Yeah, no, absolutely. After winning a Super Bowl and an MVP.
Which is kind of ballsy because Alex Smith was good.
Yeah.
Especially like at that time. Like when the Niners gave him up, I was pissed because he was really good.
Mm-hmm.
I think he literally had like the highest passer rating in the league when they got rid of him. Gave him to the Chiefs. He played there for like 2 years, and then they got rid of him when he was still playing fantastic. But it's because they knew that Patrick Mahomes was just different.
Yeah.
So speaking of quarterbacks, with all this nonsense and rubbish about Jimmy fucking playing terrible, now who do you think is going to start week 1?
It's still Jimmy. Jimmy could play. He could go 0 for 3 with 3 interceptions to the next game and still be the starter. It'd be stupid not to start him.
I don't know, man. I think there's so much upside and potential with Trey Lance, and seeing him dominate against other teams' first-string defense, like the Chargers. The Chargers are good. They have a good defense. And he's just dropping fucking dimes on them. And Jimmy's doing the opposite.
So, do you want the Niners to win this year?
Fuck yeah. I think this is a legitimately a year we could win the Super Bowl.
With Trey Lance?
With Trey Lance.
Oh, dude, that's a pipe dream right there.
I don't know, man.
You just talked about how raw he is and how much he needs to learn, and he's going to be able to go into.
But he opens up Kyle's offense so much because of his athleticism.
Okay, he goes into Seattle with fans in the stands, the loudest stadium in the NFL. What's he do?
Drops dimes on their garbage defense.
Crumbles. Rookie quarterback, he crumbles.
Drops dimes on their garbage defense. They just paid Jalen Ramsey, or no, what's the other dude?
Jamal Adams.
They just paid Jamal Adams like $30 million a year.
He's the best safety in the game.
Yeah, but their entire defense is him only.
Dude,
their defensive line is so garbage.
You have that mentality that's going out that's like, oh my God, Trey Lance is a savior. Like, dude, he's a rookie that played at North Dakota State last year. That didn't even play at North Dakota State last year. Played the year before that.
Like, I know, but man,
he is not
watching
ready.
him.
He is not
fuck,
ready.
Dude. I think if anything, he at least opens up Kyle's running game, and with that alone, we can win.
I think you could see the potential long term.
Yeah.
Like, I think you could definitely see it, but like I said, dude, look at the path that Patrick Mahomes took, Aaron Rodgers.
So you don't think? You don't think Lance is going to start this year?
No, unless Jimmy gets hurt, he ain't going to start this.
Oh, okay, dude, I don't agree.
Two scenarios. I think the only way I keep calling him Trevor, Trey Lance will start is one, if Jimmy gets hurt. Two, if the Niners start like 0-4, or if they go like, 2-8 or something like that.
I don't know if I agree, dude. We're gonna have to make a side bet here.
Dude, I'll bet you $7,000. That's how confident I am. Like,
all right, we're gonna tone it down a little bit because I don't have $7,000. But I will legitimately bet you $20.
Okay.
That Trey Lance starts by week 7, regardless of how well the Niners are playing.
Okay, there's a stipulation to this bet. One, so we'll put a number on it. I'll say if the Niners are 1-6 by week 7, there's a chance he can start.
Right.
If they're 2-5, I still think Jimmy G's getting the start.
They could be 4-3, and Lance is gonna get in there.
No, dude, no way. And obviously injury doesn't count either.
And obviously injury, yeah, that's. So
I don't know why I don't even know why it's a conversation, to be honest with you. Like I just think it's that like he's a rookie, they're not going to start him right off the bat. And Jimmy G, the last time he played, led him to the Super Bowl.
Look, I'm not a Jimmy hater at all. I've defended Jimmy as long as he's been on the team. I just think Trey Lance is better already. I think he has way more upside. He's way more athletic. And I think he makes Kyle Shanahan's offense way less predictable, which gives us a better chance to win.
But at the same time, he's got more upside. He's got to learn. Like he has to learn the NFL game.
Apparently, he's already learned the playbook. So they're saying that he's already got down Kyle's playbook and he knows all the plays and all this shit. And he's been spending night after night reading and memorizing. There was a thing that came out that said he had like twice as much time on the iPad as any other player.
I could learn the playbook too. It's about learning the preparation that it takes to be a quarterback and, the ability to make reactions and actions in games as opposed to like practice and on the field. Like Jimmy G's got experience in a Super Bowl. Trey Lance has experience in
North Dakota State.
FBS, North Dakota State National Championship.
Okay, so I get what you're saying, but then does that also apply to Trevor Lawrence?
Trevor Lawrence has experience. He's been in 3 national championships.
Yeah, but at college level, the NFL's a whole different story.
College level against Alabama.
Yeah.
At
Okay.
Ohio State.
So you're saying that he's competed against the best of college for long enough to where the transition to the NFL is going to be easier for him.
Oh, absolutely.
And Gardner Minshew isn't going to be a problem.
No, I don't think Trevor Lawrence will start week 1.
You don't think so?
No.
Okay.
I think unless there's some ulterior motive and they want to put fans in the seats to see Trevor Lawrence, I don't think you could look at those two quarterbacks, and I think Gardner Minshew should outright by performance win that quarterback race over any rookie that came in the league outside of like Peyton Manning or Andrew Luck.
Andrew Luck, yeah. Andrew Luck was a freak, dude.
Mm.
He literally aside from Patrick Mahomes, the most dominant rookie quarterback I've ever seen.
Even Patrick Mahomes didn't play his rookie year.
Well, I mean, I guess, yeah.
He sat on the bench.
That's true, yeah. So, like, straight up, Luck was legitimately a rookie. It wasn't just his rookie season. It was it was his first year in the NFL, and he dominated, which is crazy, on a shit team.
Yeah, Peyton Manning did the same thing. I mean, there's first year quarterbacks that play. You look at the Browns and look at Tim Couch and Johnny Manziel and like pretty much the last 20 years of quarterbacks.
Fuck Johnny Manziel.
That they took first, Colt McCoy. I mean, it's just tons of them.
Colt McCoy.
Tons of them that sucked, but not many rookie quarterbacks are going to get a start now. I mean, unless you absolutely need it, but if you have a better option that you can put out there and give your team a better chance to win, no way. Like Trevor Lawrence, I think out of all these guys, all these rookie quarterbacks out of Mac Jones, Justin Fields, Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, is the only guy that I think is going to start. Maybe
you don't think Zach Wilson's going to start?
Zach Wilson might start.
I think he's going to start week 1.
I don't think he got the start the last 2 days. I'm going to have to look that up. But
wow. Because who's their backup? They don't have shit for a backup.
I don't know who their quarterbacks. I thought Teddy Bridgewater was their.
Wait, Bridgewater went to the Jets?
Maybe not.
I don't think so. That would be kind of crazy.
I'm going to have to look this up.
Where did Bridgewater go? I think Bridgewater is probably a starting caliber quarterback for a lot of teams, honestly.
Yeah, bottom tier. Like
bottom tier, but I think he could start.
Yeah, you're right. Zach Wilson is definitely going to start because their quarterbacks look like shit.
It's dog shit, dude. Yeah.
It's people you've never heard of. Like, try to name one backup Jets quarterback.
Oh, dude, I have no idea.
Okay, we'll see.
It's still Mark Sanchez.
You can see where they went to college, or see if you can figure out where they went to college. So their backup is Mike White.
Literally, I've never, ever in my life, college, NFL, I've never heard of that guy in my life.
He went to USF. James Morgan.
What? James Morgan. He went to like some fucking like community college in Kentucky.
Florida International. And then their fourth string is Josh Johnson.
Wow. That's a team that should pick up Josh Rosen.
Oh.
We just cut him.
Oh, I saw that.
He looked ugly in the preseason. What a disappointment.
Oh, Bridgewater's with the Broncos.
Ooh, that's a good competition right there. Drew Lock versus Bridgewater.
Yeah.
Because I think they're both like bottom tier starting quarterbacks.
Drew Lock's dominated. I mean, he dominated in the first preseason game.
Yeah, he looked really good. But it's preseason, so.
Yeah.
So Zach Wilson's definitely going to start, which is hilarious because I think of all the rookie quarterbacks, he's probably, in my opinion, physically the least capable. The kid looks like he's fucking 15.
Yeah.
Like he looks like I could go beat his ass right now.
Yeah. He looks like he'd cry if you talk shit to him.
Yeah, so like that one is a little surprising. I know he's really talented. I've seen a lot of his highlights. And I was kind of like looking at him because the Niners obviously were in that range. Like he might go to the Niners. I wouldn't have been disappointed if they got him, but I definitely was a little bit more excited about Trey Lance or Justin Fields, just because
Oh,
they just
100%.
physically are more promising.
Yeah.
Where he looks like 5'10", 160 pounds.
Yeah, he does not look big. He did play good. I mean, he was good. A lot of people compared him like Aaron Rodgers. Like he's got an arm. I watched him play a
Yeah,
lot. in college.
he makes some fucking really pretty throws. Like he throws dimes.
Yeah, he does look like he could break him in half.
But yeah,
easily.
dude, you get hit once by Khalil Mack. Could you imagine?
Yeah.
That dude would be a pancake.
Yeah.
So it's just funny to me because I feel like he's like the quarterback of all of those guys that I'd be like, okay, give him a year on the bench, let him hit the gym for a year, bulk up a little bit, come back to training camp at 200 pounds, and then he's ready. So that's hilarious. The other quarterback who we haven't really talked about, Mac Jones.
Yeah.
That competition is a little it's intriguing because I thought Cam Newton was dead. I thought he was done. Like last year, he looked like dog shit. I was just like, yeah, he's not the same Cam. You know, this Mac Jones guy, given the right offense, might be able to come in and look good. But Cam Newton's been killing it, dude.
Yeah. Yesterday he played lights out. I mean, he just
Flawless.
looked so good.
It was flawless.
He just looked perfect. I mean, his throws were perfect. He looked a lot more spry. He looks like he's moving better. His throws are better. He's almost back to the old Cam Newton.
Kinda.
And if he played like shit and he looked like shit, like
then there's
Mac
that question.
Jones,
yeah,
there might be a question because Mac Jones has been playing well too, and I think
right.
You know, for the Patriots to pick a quarterback as early as they did, they must have seen something. And I think Mac Jones kind of proved in the national championship game against Ohio State that he can ball and he can throw and he can make throws in the right system.
Yeah, that's what a lot of the scouts were saying about him is like, of all the quarterback, he's probably the least athletic. You know, he's the least refined, but he's probably the smartest.
Mm-hmm.
So, and given, you know, the team he's on with the offense he's playing with, shit, dude. Like, leave it up to the Patriots to get some guy super late that's probably going to be, like, their next Tom Brady, right?
Mm-hmm. No, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, they're going to fix somebody.
That's the one team that's going to be able to pull something like that off.
It's going to restart their franchise.
Yeah.
After
which is
Brady
fucking
left
annoying,
them.
but at the same time, like, what if they fucking rejuvenate Cam Newton? Like, that's just as scary, dude.
I don't think Mac Jones is going to start a game this year unless...
Not after that performance. I was questioning it, but Cam Newton is killing it right now, and he's just too good. There's no way.
And, I mean, their team just looks good in general. I mean, the running backs, their offensive line, they got a bunch of guys back. Their defense looks good. I mean, the Patriots might be a team that can win that division and, you know, kind of go like that, you know, 9-8 or 10-7 record and get into the playoffs.
Right.
I think they can do it this year.
We're gonna find out. Shit.
Last but not least, rookie quarterback against my Brownies, Trevor Lawrence. I thought Trevor Lawrence played pretty good, to be honest, against the Browns.
I wasn't excited about it though.
Yeah, it wasn't very exciting. I think they kind of, like you said, I mean, a lot of shit's vanilla.
It was pretty vanilla, yeah.
Yeah, they didn't put him in a lot of tough situations. He actually moved the ball really well on offense against the Browns. The Browns just got timely stops. Like, they'd move down and get to, like, the 45, and it'd be 3rd and 5, and he'd throw an incomplete pass, or they'd run the ball and wouldn't get it. But he did make one big, nice throw. He got some time in the pocket.
Right.
And he hit a dude going down the seam, like, right in the breadbasket, which was a really good throw.
Yeah, I remember that play. That was pretty. That might have been the only thing of the whole game, though, that was like, oh, shit, that looked good.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing else was like popped off the table or anything like that. Yeah. But, I mean, he's a smart quarterback. He makes good plays. He makes the right plays most times, and that's Trevor Lawrence. He's got the arm to get it to different spots on the field. He can run if he needs to, and he can get by you.
He throws a fucking rocket.
Yeah, that's why he was the first overall pick.
Yeah.
Because, you know, he's got the talent. That quarterback room there is crazy. Like, Gardner Minshew, Trevor Lawrence, C.J. Beathard, Jake Luton. I mean, they have a lot of quarterbacks.
C.J. Beathard is not going to do anything, but I think C.J. Beathard would be the number 2 in New York behind the Zach Wilson. He might even be the starter.
He might start over him.
Yeah,
to be honest.
So that is kind of funny, but yeah, in Jacksonville, he's definitely number 3.
Yeah, like I said,
and he actually looked pretty good. He came out and played pretty well.
I think
CJ.
Oh yeah, 13 for 16 for 102 yards.
Yeah, he balled out a little bit, but he's garbage. I mean, he was our starting quarterback for like 8 games, and it was not good.
I was actually very impressed with the Browns. They did not, like I said, they did not play a single starter. The only guys that really played that are on their starters, like DPJ played, Rashard Higgins played, Carterell Hodge played, which, they're backup wide receivers and stuff.
Yeah.
But the rookie JOK played, a couple guys on defense starters, like Greedy Williams played.
Oh, Greedy Williams is back. Nice.
Yeah, Greg Newsome, the rookie, played. That's about it. Jacob Phillips tore his bicep, which sucks. He's one of our starting linebackers. Probably the fastest linebacker we have.
How did Greedy look?
Greedy looked good. He's a great corner.
He's so good. Yeah, when he was before he got hurt, I was like, damn, this guy's fucking nuts.
The Browns are stacked. If they can stay healthy, like, they're just stacked. And the fact that, I relate it to – I was actually talking to my sister about this. Like, the Browns in preseason never would win games. Like, the Browns in regular season and preseason, like,
they lost.
They like start with their starters and play really well, and then they just lose leads for the second and third team. But this was
the Raiders.
Yeah, this is like their second team started the game against the first team Jags and wiped the floor with them. Like, blew them off the ball, changed the line of scrimmage, made good plays on offense, made timely plays on defense.
Well, they have so much depth; it's crazy.
They looked like a football team.
Yeah.
Like, they looked like a football team that was organized and knew what the fuck they were doing. And they were like, hey, it doesn't matter who I put on the field. Like, we're going to beat you because we're stronger and we work harder and we're better than you.
Yeah. And I think it's starting to, like, finally resonate within the locker room. Yeah. Like, everyone's starting to, like, feel that energy, which is crazy. Because once they click and they feel that, dude, they're unstoppable.
Yeah. I mean, their fucking defense is just
so stacked.
I'm so surprised by the additions they made this offseason. Dude, they're stacked. I mean, it's crazy.
Did they land Jadeveon Clowney?
Jadeveon Clowney, John Johnson III, Troy Hell. I mean, Grant Delpy is back. I mean, their safety position, which has been the weakness of our football team every single year, is fucking stacked.
Yeah.
Like, stacked. The only weakness we have is at linebacker, which we have young linebackers like Mac Wilson, Taki, and Malcolm Smith, and Brandon Phillips, but he just got hurt. I mean, the linebacker's probably the worst, but, dude, then you got Myles Garrett opposite of Jadeveon Clowney, and then
which is ridiculous.
You got Greedy Williams, Denzel Ward, and Troy Hill on the outside.
That's probably legitimately the best defensive end duo in the league. Clowney and Garrett.
Well, you also got Arizona they were talking about today. J.J. Watt and
Chandler Jones.
That's
pretty gross.
That's kind of scary.
That's pretty gross. The Niners have Nick Bosa, D Ford, which is not. Yeah. I mean, that's really good, but I wouldn't say it's on that level of you guys.
D Ford in his prime. I mean,
yeah. D Ford's been killing it in camp, by the way. That's exciting,
dude. Honestly, nobody's defensive line is better than Washington's.
Nobody's. Oh, dude, Chase. Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're nasty.
Their defensive line in general with Cameron Payne, and I mean, it's just.
Across the board, it's really gross. And they're young. They're, like, young and ridiculous.
Yeah, Jonathan Allen. I mean, they're just...
Jonathan Allen. Oh, my God.
They're just insane. Yeah.
They're going to be scary. Young, they're going to have a really good year, I think.
Their ends are Chase Young and Montez Sweat.
Right, and Montez Sweat was solid.
They have Deron Payne and Jonathan Allen on the inside. That's like...
Gross.
an insanely young but so talented.
Yeah, it's so much talent and just like girth.
Mhm. That's insane.
Dude, Chase Young is a monster, by the way. He might legitimately be the best defensive end in the league.
Who did they play first preseason game? Was it the Patriots? And
he crushed Cam Newton.
Yeah, he absolutely demolished Cam Newton.
Yeah, and Cam Newton's like, oh, I didn't think he was that small.
Yeah.
Or no. Chase Young said to Cam Newton, I didn't know he was that big.
Yeah.
And then Cam Newton responded as a joke, obviously. He's like, oh, I didn't know he was that small. But yeah, Chase Young is a monster, dude. He's going to have a huge... If he can stay healthy this year, he's going to have a huge year.
Yeah. He is literally probably the best defensive end, and it's his second year in the league. Like, he might be better than Myles Garrett.
I'll admit it. I think he's better than Nick Bosa already.
Yeah.
And I have a huge bias toward Nick Bosa. I think Nick Bosa's a freak. But dude, Chase Young is just another... He has a gear that most people don't even know.
You want to know what's really scary?
What?
Nick Bosa and Chase Young play together at Ohio State on the same D-line.
That must have been the best defensive line ever seen in history.
It was so nuts.
The poor fucking idiot quarterbacks with their fucking college-level offensive line.
You should see highlights of that team because, I mean, they're 2 years apart maybe. But even when Chase Young was a freshman and Nick Bosa was, I think they're 1 year apart, was a sophomore. Like, dude, they were literally insane.
Just monsters.
Yeah, every play somebody was in the backfield.
Oh, I love it. That has to be some exciting highlights right there, dude. I'm gonna have to go back and watch that shit. All right, so apparently, speaking of the Browns, sounds like you guys had a little bit of brawl going on at camp this week.
Yeah, it's funny because there's always teams during this time have joint practices with other teams. So the Browns are practicing with the Giants. The Niners, like you said, are practicing with the Chargers. But there's always fights. Like if you go on YouTube and just search training camp fights, there's always fights
an endless
during this
list.
time. Because there's no refs, there's no consequences to fighting outside of maybe getting kicked out of practice or maybe hurting somebody. And
also there's guys that are literally trying to make the team.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're playing for millions of dollars, to them right now. It's either $0 or millions of dollars. So they're fighting for their fucking life at these training camps. And when you have that much passion and aggression for some of those lower tier players colliding, oh dude, it's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, earlier in the year, I think it was the Panthers. There was a secondary player that got kicked off the team because he hit somebody in practice.
Oh yeah, it was the Panthers.
He
was like a linebacker or something.
Yeah, he hit somebody unnecessarily or something like that, and he got kicked off the team.
Dude, I watched the replay. It was so fucking soft.
It wasn't that bad.
It wasn't that bad. It was like a play that you would see every single week in the NFL.
Yeah.
I didn't like that.
But...
And yes, this is yet another training camp brawl video that I'm bringing you guys today. And it's very important that you guys know that, no, we are not transitioning into MMA to push out my content, especially if I make ad on it and therefore... But unfortunately, when you make 5 videos
video.
a day,
bro, look at this hair.
you don't really have time to.
I don't want to hear this from you, dude.
Fantasy football leagues as I would like to be a part of, and I don't have enough time to set up lineup or fight. And to was one of many.
There it is.
disappointment and anger. Afterwards, he rounded the entire team up again and to join practices, but I guess I was wrong. In this instance, Sterling
Shepard,
towards the
so basically,
end.
Troy Hill went to go fire on Sterling
Shepard and Troy Hill of the Cleveland Browns.
What the hell?
From this clip that it initially started from Troy Hill covering Sterling Shepard, and there was some jawing and some competitiveness going back and forth between the two of them. Honestly, this is nothing unusual.
Is Troy Hill a rookie?
If you're a wide receiver going
he
up
played
against
for
a cornerback,
the Rams last year.
Oh, okay.
The cornerback
He's
that
a beast.
is covering you isn't on your team. A huge part of the game for a DB is to get into the wide receiver's head, and a huge part of the game for the wide receiver is to jaw back. And obviously, if it's hot outside and you guys are going back and forth at it all day, eventually trash talk could result.
It's so weird now
that
now players wear all these different numbers.
Have some
I know.
You know,
might be a little bit
I don't know who
see
half the
here,
people are
but
anymore.
there's
I know,
this
it's hard to
one
keep track of it.
particular play to Sterling Shepard, which was a wide receiver screen that results with Sterling
Who the
Shepard
fuck
on the
recorded
ground
this
at the
video
end
with
of the
their
wide
VHS
receiver screen.
camera?
And apparently this was one of many very big hits that Troy Hill got on Sterling Shepard that resulted in them fighting at the conclusion of practice. So in yesterday's video with Antonio Brown,
That was literally the worst video I've ever watched in my life.
Oh, dude, it's terrible. So, training camp fights. So, if you play the next one, there's a fight at the Raiders-Rams.
I heard about that one. Yeah.
That was...
Derek Carr was talking about that one.
Epic. They shut down practice. They shut
was a
down
brawl.
everything, sent everybody home, and it was apparently a brawl. This is the only video that I saw of it, but it was like, I don't think there was media allowed during the practice. But, yeah. This is like full team.
This is a full team brawl. Like, these teams do not like each other.
I think it was after it ended.
But Derek Carr kind of said what I was saying about this fight. He was saying, like, yeah, a lot of the guys, you know, especially special teams players, because they're like roster bubble players, you know, their emotions are going to be a little bit higher than the other guys. And he was like, I'm fine with it as long as no one gets hurt.
Yeah. I mean, it's a thing, right? It's a thing that happens every single year. Somebody gets in a fight in training camp, like I said, because there's no repercussions. I mean, now, you know, you might get kicked off the team, whatever, but...
You can't even really see what the hell is going on. It's like the aftermath.
Yeah,
basically right there.
Yeah. They're swinging in there. The whole team's getting involved. Oh, somebody got rocked.
Yeah. But yeah, it's that time of year, man. Training camp and shit, dude. It's like almost part of the excitement of training camp, honestly.
Oh yeah,
Watching the brawls, because you know it's gonna happen.
The fights. Yeah.
I'm like honestly disappointed that it didn't happen with the Niners and the Chargers.
Yeah.
I was expecting the Bosa brothers to get in a brawl like me and Anthony would if we were on opposing teams.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I'll just start throwing hands, dude.
So the Niners and the Browns play on Sunday this week. Again. They're the only two games on Sunday. So it's good.
I forget who the Niners play. Oh, the Chargers, obviously.
Chargers, yeah.
Yeah. Who are you guys playing?
Giants.
Oh.
Whoever you practice with all week.
You should be able to beat the Giants.
Oh yeah, dude. It doesn't matter.
Dude, their starting lineup is garbage.
Yeah.
So their backups.
We won't get any starters playing for us.
Speaking of the Giants and starters, what's up with Saquon? Has he been practicing or playing? I haven't really heard much about him.
I haven't heard much either. I know he's been practicing. I don't think he's been playing yet. I think he's still kind of coming back, but
rehabbing a little bit.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be ready by week 1. No problem.
Interesting. But yeah, who do you think? So you think the Browns are definitely going to win? I'm definitely taking the Niners. I think, man, it's hard to say. I almost want to say I think the Niners are going to start Trey Lance with starting offense. But, Phone call
you're
came
good.
in.
No, you're good. I was just
Oh.
listening for your audio because it sounds shitty through Discord, but it's fine on Twitch.
Oh, weird. Dude, latency issues.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if the Niners started Trey Lance with the starting offense this week. He was starting with them in practice.
I don't think if you're really trying to win and you want your best quarterback going forward, I think it's Jimmy G right now. And I don't think you should take any reps away from him at all. I think you take every opportunity you can to put Jimmy G with the ones and let him run with the ones. Like Trey Lance will have his time maybe next year to get his run with the ones. He can get practice in this year. You know,
$20, dude, by week 7.
That's bullshit. There's no way. There's no way he'll see the field unless there's an injury. Even if there's an injury, like I feel like they'd still pull up some guy off the street instead of using Trey Lance. They'll bring in Colin Kaepernick before they.
Oh God, dude! Don't even get me started on that idiot. He's so bad. Like, aside from his political stuff, like a lot of people are like, "Oh, he's not in the league because he's the politics and they're blackballing him or whatever." Those people. Did anyone watch him play? He was fucking atrocious.
Yeah, he's not good.
He was so bad. He literally lost the starting job.
Did you?
What?
Oh, go ahead.
He lost the starting job to Blaine Gabbert. If you lose a starting job to Blaine Gabbert, I don't care what team you're on, you're fucking dog shit.
Did you see that Madden rated him an 81?
I did see that, which is really... That's fucked up.
Yeah, totally.
He's rated higher than Jimmy Garoppolo. He's rated higher than Cam Newton. Like, dude, come on. Give me a break. Like, that is not true.
He's not even in the league.
He's not even in the league, and when he was in the league, he was fucking atrocious. He was terrible. Every single throw was 15 yards above someone's head at 110 miles an hour. Even if it was like on target, it was uncatchable because he would just throw these bullets because he was nervous. He was terrible, dude. The only thing he could do is run. That is it. That was it. Yeah, he was terrible.
He had a cannon, but it was like
very inaccurate, and he wasn't the smartest quarterback. He did not read the field well.
Trying to catch this 100-mile-an-hour bullet that's going.
Yeah, exactly.
10 feet to the left of you.
The only reason why Kaepernick had a semi-good season was because of freaking Crabtree.
Crabtree
at that time, Crabtree was a monster.
Delaney Walker caught so many.
And Delaney Walker, yeah, exactly.
Seam routes, like right up the seam, just bullet passes. Somehow Delaney Walker always caught them.
Just absorbed them. And Antoine, or did Kaepernick ever get Antoine Bolden?
Yeah. Yep.
They had a little bit of time together, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and Antoine Bolden, like, if he didn't have those freakishly good receivers around him, he would have never ever even been anything. Because he was not a good quarterback. Ever.
He did have huge games in the playoffs, though. I mean, he did.
He had a couple big games.
And Lambeau, like against the Packers. Jesus Christ.
Well, and there was that other game against the Seahawks that we actually
Falcons.
lost, which I don't think we should have lost. Because the reffing was fucking terrible. But he had a really good game. That was the one where Sherman's like, how you gonna put me up against a sorry-ass receiver like Crabtree?
Keep talking. Keep talking.
Yeah.
Sorry, ass receiver, Crabtree.
But yeah, no, like that game, Colin Kaepernick did play good. He had his moments. Like, he was decent a little bit, but his last season, I think even the season before that, the last like 2 seasons, oh my god, dude, I was so irritated. I was like, really? We got rid of Alex Smith to watch this guy just throw 5 interceptions and have 100 yards in a game?
Yeah.
Garbage.
Well, and people think that it's only the, politics why he's not in the league.
I know. No, I'm not buying it.
One is his talent. Two, like, why would you want to bring on all that shit with your team? Like, and it's not like it's not a good cause or anything like that. Like, it's just the fact that, like, you're trying to run a football team and you want to bring the clown show with him.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is like, right now in the world, politics are so on everyone's mind for some reason. Like, everyone all of a sudden is like some like super political person where 5 years ago no one was. So it's like it's kind of annoying. So everyone has this really strong opinion, and they want it. They want the scenario to be that Colin Kaepernick is being blacklisted because of him kneeling against police brutality, because then that fits their narrative, and it fits into their political fucking heroin that they want. But the reality is, I was a 49ers fan. I watched Colin Kaepernick every single week. He was fucking terrible. He was dog shit. And he didn't start kneeling until he was already benched.
Yeah, he wasn't even playing.
He wasn't even playing at the time. He was a bench player. He was a backup. He was nothing. He had lost his job to Blaine Gabbert already. And then he started doing his whole kneeling thing. And, like, whatever. I don't care about that. Like, that's all political. I don't give a shit about that. I'm a 49ers fan. I want what's best for the 49ers. Colin Kaepernick was fucking terrible. And I'm really glad he left the team, regardless of politics.
Yeah, which team would want to put their fans in a situation where they're like, oh, I have to choose, like, you bring this quarterback to the team, now I have to choose if I like or dislike his political ideology. Yeah. Because there's going to be a lot of people that are like, well, fuck that, you hired Colin Kaepernick. There's also going to be people that are like, oh my God, thank God you put Colin Kaepernick. Yeah, no,
it's going to be political half and half. The people that are like, oh, yay, they're doing a good thing for the community by hiring a guy that, stands up for police brutality or whatever the hell his thing is. And then they're going to have the people that are like, oh, screw that, fuck his statement, he's kneeling against the flag, blah, blah, blah. Like, you're going to have it split either way. So, you're right. Like, bringing a guy in, you're already creating a not just a distraction, but a diversion in your fans. 50% are going to hate it. So,
and who would want that? Who would want that for a business, right? Like, if I'm running a business and I got, 6 people sitting in my office and I'm like, hey, by the way, we just hired this fucking loudmouth that's going to sit here and talk about police brutality the entire time you're working. So
and not focus on football. And it would be
tomorrow.
Okay. Here's the difference. If Colin Kaepernick was Patrick Mahomes, if Patrick Mahomes was kneeling and speaking out against police brutality and everything, but putting up the numbers he's putting up, no one would give a shit.
Mm-hmm.
Do your thing, dog. Like, say what you need to say. Use your platform. Colin Kaepernick, on the other hand, was a poison in the locker room. There was people that didn't like him in the locker room on his own team. He was playing like fucking shit. Horrible. And on top of it, bringing in politics and focusing on that aside from football. So, yeah, like, of course he's not going to be on a team. And another thing people don't realize about Colin Kaepernick is after the protests and after he got kicked out of the league, he actually did get a tryout with the Seahawks. And he didn't even make it as a backup. Yeah. He got cut because he was garbage. Not because of politics. They wouldn't have given him a tryout if it was about politics.
Yeah. Especially the Seahawks, an organization that's... Yeah. They are, like, kind of, like, on that cusp of, like, I don't care what your politics are, I'll bring you in. Yeah. I don't care if you're a bad dude, like, I'll bring you in, you'll be part of the family.
Yeah, he sucked. And then I think, like, years later, like, way after, like, people had forgotten about him, they did another tryout with him to try to get him on board. And,
they did that, like, public tryout.
Yeah, it was like a public tryout thing, and even then he just looked like garbage. So it's like...
He just did not look good.
I'm not a Colin Kaepernick fan, and it has nothing to do with politics. All right. We're going to switch gears here. No more talking about Colin Kaepernick because that was an annoying time of my life being a 49ers fan watching a terrible quarterback.
He did good. I mean, he did lead you to the Super Bowl, so I wouldn't like say he didn't do anything for you guys.
There was like maybe 1-2 years that I was like, this guy's sick. Like he would break off for like an 80-yard run and stuff, and it was exciting. But then once teams figured him out and they like schemed against him and he was forced to play in the pocket, that's when you really started to realize how bad he was.
Yeah. Like he only had a couple places on the field that he could throw to. Like he only like was comfortable throwing in these spots. Yeah. And he couldn't make like the simple throws here, the simple throws there.
Yeah, once they contained him, it was the most frustrating thing I've ever watched. It was horrible.
He did. There's a couple of years though the Niners were so good, and it wasn't just him. It was like he didn't lead the team or anything.
We saw like Frank Gore and like
That defense,
Dude,
was
Justin Smith.
insane.
So good.
Navarro Bowman, Patrick Willis, and Dante Whitner together. Oh my God.
Dude, vicious. Good luck throwing over the middle.
I
You're
remember when the Niners played the Seahawks in that NFC Championship game, and it was like literally one of the best football games I've ever watched, just because both teams like came out to fucking kill you. The other one, like the hitting was no.
We also had Justin Smith and Alden Smith.
Alden Smith, yeah. The hitting in that game, like you could hear pops on this. Like you don't hear that shit. Like you just every single play, you could hear somebody just going as hard as they can trying to hit somebody. The only other time I've ever heard that is Alabama LSU played the national championship.
Yeah.
One year, and they both had great defenses, and it was the same thing. Their defenses were so good that like you couldn't get past them. That's the same thing. Those defenses are nasty.
Just vicious. I honestly haven't seen someone hit with that kind of power since Dante Whitner. There hasn't been a player in the league with that much like vicious intent. Actually, for a little bit, who was that linebacker? Vontez Burfict?
Oh,
He had a couple where he would fucking murder people. But his were actually a little dirty. That's the difference.
Yeah,
like he would target
very
like
dirty.
what's it called? Like helpless players, like
Yeah.
unprepared. Dante Whitner would look at you in the eyes and be like, "You're running at me. I'm going to murder you."
Yeah.
So
yeah, not many people do that today.
Yeah.
Nor can they, right? Because they get a penalty.
they'd get a
for it.
penalty now. Yeah, he actually
Even
started
if-
getting penalties toward the end of his career with the Niners. I think he went to the Browns for a little bit, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, at the end of his tenure with the Niners, they started penalizing him a lot. It was kind of bullshit because I didn't think it was deserved.
Yeah, leading with his shoulder and some shit. I mean,
Yeah,
just the way he played.
just because he crushed people, it's like, dude, it was a clean hit. Like, who cares if the guy died? Don't run at Dante Whitner if you don't want to die. Just like Zach Wilson shouldn't run at Khalil Mack if he doesn't want to die.
Yeah. So football season's upon us. I think when's our fantasy football draft? The 28th.
No, that's what it's set to right now. I think all the votes were for the 31st, but we still only have had half the guys vote. We still need 5.
Yeah, I didn't even get your message, so I didn't even vote.
Oh, you haven't voted yet?
No, I didn't even get your
okay.
message.
Okay, cool. Well, that's good because I assumed it was like me, you, Lazook, Anthony, and Cade. Like the 5 like people that are always on top of it.
Yeah, so we'll it'd be actually kind of cool to live stream our draft, to be honest.
That would be
with you.
cool. We could do that on it's on a Tuesday. But yeah, we could do like a little like mini stream, a draft stream. Barely Shit Drawers draft.
Let's live stream our draft. Fuck yeah.
I'm down, dude. I'm easily gonna have the best team again, so
Yeah.
there's that.
Injuries. I win every other year. I win on odd years.
Doesn't matter, dude. I'm going back to back this year.
You're right. So we'll get into a couple other topics real quick. And nothing overshadows the NFL, so it's almost like I don't even want to talk about these other sports.
I know. I'm so pumped on the NFL. I know. I can't stop talking about it.
It's insane. The biggest thing. So basketball did their summer league, their Las Vegas summer league, where basically rookies and second years and actually some third year players got a chance to play.
Yeah.
It was cool to see some of the rookies play. Cade Cunningham, first overall pick, played like a beast. Jalen Green for the Rockets was a beast.
They played
Jalen
against each other
Suggs.
in the first game, right?
Yeah.
That was kind of fun to watch, yeah.
They both had some really good highlights. Jalen Suggs actually played lights out. When he played, he got hurt, but his first couple games he played, he was a fucking absolute beast. Evan Mobley for the Cavs played really good. He kind of showed that when they drafted him, I thought he was I think he'd be a bust. I was thinking like Anthony Bennett kind of guy, like where the Cavs just like drafted a dumbass player. But he kind of proves that he can play the modern NBA game where he can sit out on the perimeter, drive to the hoop. He can pass. He can facilitate.
Yeah.
He's a beast. The Warriors rookie, Jonathan Kaminga, played pretty good.
He played hella good.
I think he's still kind of that raw talent.
Well, that was the thing when they picked him. Is for me, I didn't even know who he was. I'd never heard of him. So looking at like the scouting reports and reading up on all these players, I was super pumped when they picked Moses Moody, because I was like, oh, dude, that's the guy I wanted them to get at 15. You know, I was like, that's the guy. Like, awesome, they got the guy I wanted. And then they picked Kaminga at like what 7 or 9 or whatever they were at. And I was just like, who the fuck is this guy? Like, you know, I've never even heard of the guy. Like, is he just like a huge question mark? And then I got to watch him, and I was like, that's why they picked this guy.
Yeah. Well, raw talent. You can play. He had a huge dunk. You could play a video of.
Yeah, so let's check out this dunk. It was insane. Like, I remember watching this, and I was just like, oh, shit. Like, that moment right there was, like, the, like, that's why they picked this guy moment. This dunk right here.
I was impressed that he could get to the hoop.
Dude,
I was impressed
he covered, like,
footwork.
15 feet.
Yeah, he's got good footwork. I didn't see him shoot too much or make many jump shots, but you can tell he's a slasher. He can get to the hoop.
Oh,
But
yeah.
again, he's a raw talent.
Fearless. Watch this. Cross. Oh! Oh! So nasty. I want to watch that again. The cross he did on this guy, too, right here. Pink! Oh, my God. Oh, I didn't... I'm sitting there watching it by myself. Sorry. My bad. I thought you guys were sitting there watching this with me. All right.
Nah.
I don't mind going through it a third time. Ready? So first off, he showed off some good defense right there. Made a block. And then he just turns this guy inside out.
He was a good slasher, which, in all honesty,
Watch this.
hopefully he can
Going
have
that
some
way.
production.
Oh, wait. No, going that way.
Oh, nice little
Ah!
heavy.
Good night.
There's a different dunk where he dunked over somebody.
Good night. I mean, just the crisscross, and then he literally jumps from the free throw line. Crisscross? That's just ridiculous. They might show it in this video. It's pretty long. You got their dunk?
No, I think that might have been the dunk I was talking about. Yeah, that was
Woo!
that was insane. And there's a lot of people talking about like, oh God, how did anybody let the Warriors draft this guy?
So where did he come from? Like, was he a college player or was he a European player?
Congo or something like that.
Okay, so he's one of those, just like somewhere else in the world, and just like some freak talent that no one knows about.
Yeah, he was a Congolese national player.
He's a freak.
6'7", 225. He's big.
He's a freak.
It's funny he fell in the draft because some people said he was the number 1 rated player in the draft.
Oh God.
Which is crazy. The biggest I watched the Summer League final game, which was Celtics and Kings. The Celtics only got there because the Celtics played Peyton Pritchard, who's like a starter second year player.
Pritchard,
who just scored like 92 in a pro-am game. And then they had like Cameron Edwards and like they had a bunch of third year players that they played on their team because they were allowed to play them because of COVID last year. So it's kind of like unfair that the Celtics were there because it's not like they had rookies and second year players. They also had third year players that have NBA experience and playoff experience.
Right.
But the Kings won Summer League. They made a kind of like off the radar pick. I think this guy was put low on draft boards and then he kind of rose back up, and I thought he'd be like top 5 pick, Davion Mitchell.
Yeah, no idea who that is.
He played for Baylor. I think he's Donovan Mitchell's brother, I want to say.
Oh, it's that guy. Yeah, okay. I remember we talked about him before.
He is a beast. He is probably the best defender I've ever seen, on-ball defender. And he's just a player.
Wow.
Well,
I mean, he is the brother of a really, really good
Oh, they're not
NBA
brothers.
player. Oh, they're not.
No.
Sorry, I'm about to
They're
sneeze
not.
again.
I thought they were. Bless you. I thought they were brothers because they look the same. but maybe that's racist. I don't know. But
well, they also have the same last name.
Yeah, and like weird first names that are kind of similar. I thought they were brothers because they have the same game too. Like they kind of like have the same movements and everything. But Davion, he's a beast, dude. Like I think it's a weird draft pick for the Kings because he's a point guard, and like De'Aaron Fox is one of the best point guards in the league.
Right.
That they have on their team. But the Kings might step their game up a little bit. They'll probably still disappoint, but Sacktown might get a winning basketball team this year. We'll see.
There you go.
I always like to see the Kings do well. The Kings are.
Didn't they just lose their big guy though? Eanes Cantor or whatever.
No, not Cantor. He's fucking washed up.
Who's their center?
They just signed him. Not Mitchell Robinson, but the other guy. Rashard Holmes.
Oh.
It's Kings. That's their center currently. They still have Buddy Hield, I think, and obviously De'Aaron Fox. They lost Bajelica to the Warriors.
Bahula what?
Bajelica.
Oh, he's the small
Yeah.
Is
he's
he
like
small
the
forward?
European. Yeah.
Yeah,
he's
okay.
Like
the European guy? Yeah.
Yeah. And they have Halliburton, Tyrese Halliburton, who dominated. He's a rookie. Buddy Hield, Rashawn Holmes, De'Aaron Fox, Harrison Barnes, Marvin Bagley. I mean, they have a good team. And then they add Davion Mitchell. They actually added Tristan Thompson, too, which is crazy.
Tristan Thompson they added?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
So they have a really good team. They just, it's the Kings.
You fuck the Kings.
They just suck every year. So rolling into baseball.
Before we shift out of NBA, I just wanted to say one more thing. There is a rumor circling right now that the Warriors are currently interested in Paul Millsap. Which should add another veteran power forward to the team. Which would be solid because it would give Draymond a rest.
I think that'd be a really good pickup for them.
Yeah.
Be kind of that like David West, old school David Lee factor.
Right, exactly.
They need somebody to come on and play that just like fundamental game off the bench and give them a couple buckets.
Exactly.
There wasn't a ton of NBA news either. Like it was just like summer league, and there was like no moves or anything like that. No big news.
Yeah, other than that Kaminga dunk, there wasn't much going on.
No, not at all. In baseball news, it's funny. We talked about, when Zook is here, we talked about the Giants and like how they're going to run away with things. The Giants are 2.5 games up on the Dodgers, and after tonight, they're about to be 1.5 games up on the Dodgers. So they were 5 games up like last week. So the Dodgers are going to catch them, and I said like the Dodgers are absolutely going to catch them a long time ago because they're just that much more talented.
Yeah, they have the best roster ever.
The Giants are playing the Bay Bridge series. They're playing the A's this week, which I should probably go to a game, to be honest with you.
We should.
I saw tickets for like $10 today or something.
What? What the fuck?
Yeah.
Buy that shit. Let's go, dog.
Maybe I was looking at different tickets. That was the Browns.
Nosebleeds are probably like $30
for the A's if they're playing in Oakland, which I think they might be playing in Oakland tomorrow. No, they're playing in Oakland.
I went to the San Francisco game not that long ago, and I think I spent $30.
Yeah, well, they're playing in Oakland, so you'll spend like
$10
plus drinks.
Yeah,
but you can pull a flask into the game if you want to,
and a blunt.
Yeah, and a blunt. You can smoke a blunt in the right field corner. No problem. I have done that at a game before. So
literally have done it.
Yeah, it's just hilarious.
So no, it's actually kind of funny. Like, it has such a trashy element to that arena.
Yeah,
that it almost has like a little bit of like culture. It's like artistic.
That's what I always say when I go there. Like, everybody's like, "Oh my god, the Coliseum's such a piece of shit." I'm like, to tell you the truth, like I like the Coliseum. Like, it has a little bit of character.
It has a lot of character, exactly.
You don't see stadiums. They have the trough toilets. The food there is better than a lot of places. Like the food is actually very good. You can find like cheaper beers there. You
can get PBRs for like $2.
You can get the tailgating atmosphere, and fuck, dude, it doesn't matter. You could like get bad seats and move up to the bottom, like to the field. But
like the ushers and the security, you could literally buy a $5 ticket in the bleachers and go fucking sit behind home plate.
Yeah,
and no one's gonna stop you.
You could literally grab like an old woman, like black girl usher, and like grind on her, and she wouldn't even give a fuck.
No, she'd give it back.
Yeah, like she'd probably dance with you.
Like, girl, what you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I love Oakland. I think it's more fun than going to San Francisco, honestly.
Yeah, well, there's something about going to a Giants game too. I mean, it's just
being on the water is cool. It's like it's pretty, it's scenic. It's like it has that like bigger game atmosphere.
Yeah,
but it's Oakland, man, if you were just going for a good time, hot dog and a beer, like it's hard to beat.
always, and the tickets are cheap.
Yeah,
easy to get to too.
Bart drops you off right there.
Literally, Bart drops you off in front of the stadium.
Yeah.
The A's are gonna move if they can't get their shit together. The city of Oakland is so fucked up. Like, lost the Warriors, lost the Raiders. Now they're gonna lose the A's because they can't. Like,
have you been to Oakland lately?
Yeah.
It's looking bad, dude. It's so run down right now.
Mm-hmm.
When I came back from Nashville, I took Bart from San Francisco to Pleasant Hill. And on that drive, you kind of ride through San Francisco, through Oakland, and then like into Moraga. When I was on the BART going over Oakland, I literally felt like I was like looking at like Gotham City. It was like post-apocalyptic, just like hell. It was really bad. It looked terrible. Like straight up like those like Mexican food trucks. I saw like 2 or 3 of those that were burnt to a crisp. And people were living inside of it and put like tarps over the top to make like houses.
Oh my god!
And
well, it's homeless crisis right now it's crazy. I mean, you see, homeless and kind of creeping into areas like San Ramon. I work in San Ramon. Like literally, I'm driving home from San Ramon and there's homeless people in San Ramon. There's homeless people walking down in downtown Walnut Creek.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the homeless problem right now. It's crazy.
But I think in Oakland specifically, it's really bad.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, right. I mean, that just means that there's more so than there already was homeless problem in Oakland, right?
Right. It's out of control. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But it just kind of goes to show how poorly the city's run, honestly.
It's horrible.
And that's why they're losing team. I mean, I think of how much revenue the Raiders and the A's bring into that city. That's got to be like 30% of the income for that entire city.
The A's were bottom of the list. Think about how much revenue the Raiders and the Warriors brought to that city.
Yeah, tons. And they couldn't keep their shit together to keep any of them.
A 3-time NBA champion, Golden State Warriors, had a shitty arena in Oakland. And why would you not do everything you can to keep that?
Right.
Because that team is going to pay whatever the fuck they need to build a stadium right there. And they're like, well, fuck you. San Francisco gave us a place to stay. We're going to pay extra to go over there because we need a stadium.
I haven't been to that stadium yet, by the way.
I haven't either.
I heard it's really nice.
I've been outside of it. I'm sure it's nice. I've been outside of it and seen like kind of inside of it. It looks insane.
Yeah, that's crazy. All right, so we're gonna buy tickets. We're gonna live stream that as well.
Yeah, we'll live stream. We'll IRL the Warriors game.
Speaking of baseball, I have the Field of Dreams video I'm gonna put up.
So, did you hear much about this game?
I didn't hear much about it. I obviously saw a little bit of stuff on Twitter and the hype around it. The whole like build it and they will come thing and all that shit.
So Field of Dreams movie with Kevin Costner basically paid tribute to the Chicago Black Sox back in the day that, betted on games and made some money, but were an insanely good team. and Kevin Costner ended up being dead in the movie, but it was based in Iowa at what they said was the Field of Dreams, like build it, they will come. So they recreated that. This is the first professional baseball game in Iowa ever. And they recreated this sick fucking field in Iowa with cornfields in the back of it. So, like, at the end of this movie is basically like Kevin Costner walks into the cornfields with the rest of the, 1918 Chicago Black Sox, because obviously he's dead and they're dead.
They're all ghosts. Yeah.
They're all ghosts. But it's a sick baseball movie. And then they recreated this game, and just the ambiance of the game to begin with was sick. Like, to start the game, like you could see Kevin Costner standing right there.
Yeah.
Just to start the game, he kind of stood there and came out of the cornfield, and then like both teams came out of the cornfield right after that.
Yeah, I was seeing a lot of this stuff on Twitter, which was really cool.
Very cool. Like, it's cool when, I mean, I'll relate it to like the NHL outdoor games. Right. It's cool when these professional sports can switch things up a little bit and just put some other product out there that nobody's seen before. It's like the NFL games in England.
And that field looks really nice, by the way.
Oh, it was so nice.
Fucking, yeah, like flawless.
So not to mention like the ambiance of this. So they played Yankees, White Sox, because that was the game that was in the basically in the movie, because it's based around the Black Sox and their cheating scandal and everything. They wore the old school uniforms from back in the day. The game itself was insane.
Hold on. The game. I'm pretty sure I just saw a player come out and he had fucking corn in his back pocket.
He did, yeah. They put corn. Yeah. Some of them put corn in their back pocket.
Yeah, that dude at 27.
Yeah, Stanton.
That's
Don't call it Stanton. So if you fast forward to the end, back and forth game.
How far?
White Sox were
Looks
up.
like it's tied right here. Oh no, 3-5.
Oh no, keep going. The final score is 8-7. White Sox were up big, and then top of the ninth, the Yankees hit a couple home runs. LeMahieu, I think,
holy shit,
Giancarlo Stanton right there. Yeah, banged one. So Yankees up 8-7, top of the ninth with 2 outs.
And they were
got a home run.
They were not leading that whole game. It looks like
they were down
behind.
like 7-4.
Yeah.
They were down 7-4, 7-5, something like that. And then this dude comes up and ends it on a game-winning homer. And when he hits it, he hit it into the corn, and they shot fireworks off in the background.
That's fucking epic.
And it was so epic. Tim Anderson blasting one in his walk around the bases. He was just like, dude, it's over. It's over.
Oh, look at him.
Yeah. It was sick.
That's amazing. Like, imagine how sick it was for the fans that got to actually go to that.
Yeah. And there's so many fans there. I think it held like 15,000 or something like that. And yeah, to have an ending like that where they shot the fireworks off in the cornfield right as a game-winning homer, it was sick. It was like one of those rare occurrences in baseball. And baseball was like my favorite sport growing up. Like, that was just like my passion. I played the shit out of it. I was really good at it. And I kind of lost that passion for it, but stuff like that makes me want to watch baseball.
It like sparks it. Like, I'll admit I'm not a huge baseball fan, but stuff like that is fucking epic. Like, I don't care what sport it is. Like, that was awesome. The presentation, the game, everything about it, that was sick. So, yeah, I could totally see that. Especially if you, like, had, like, a dying love for the sport. Like, something like that will bring you back in for sure.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's really cool, though. I wonder, like, was that because of, they just did a reunion because of the movie?
Yeah, so they basically, I mean, from what I understand, they just wanted to change things up and have a different game because of, like, the movie, and they just wanted to do something different. Somebody came up with the Field of Dreams, and they actually built that stadium specifically for this game, and now they're going to have a game there every year.
Oh, cool.
If not multiple games.
Oh, so they're going to have, like, a Field of Dreams series. Like, every year they're going to have, like, one. Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Basically like the outdoor NHL games.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's big for the sport, too, because I feel like, at least for me, baseball is kind of dying. Like, I don't know. I know there's a ton of fans that still love baseball, but like everyone I talk to, no one's like really excited about baseball.
Nah, it's been dying. I used to watch like literally every single baseball game. Like I'd watch all of them. It's just died.
Yeah.
You know, one of the reasons
they need to fix the freaking soft cap. They need to have a hard cap basically. I don't know what structure they have now, but the fact that one team can just buy all the best players is just stupid.
Yeah, it's been like that forever, even when it was popular. It's just bringing fans to the game, getting people more intrigued, doing things like this, doing things like Field of Dreams games, making the All-Star games interesting, making the 162. They play so many fucking games, 162 game season interesting, instead of just the monotony that is the Major League Baseball season.
Yeah. Dragging on.
So it's about that time. I feel like we need an intro for this every year, every week. Like we needed a boop, 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 boop. Financial advice. Financial advice from the trusted source.
Dude, we need to get Anthony to make us like a beat.
Yeah, Dubz and Tith.
Oh, Dubz, you want a beat?
Perps.
So let's start our investment talk with.
I think one of the biggest things that I've noticed is I haven't really touched a single one of my crypto stocks or cryptocurrency investments, but I made probably about $100 in like the last week and a half.
There you go, dude. Baby steps.
Which, I don't have a ton of money. I'm probably down now I'm only down like $100 on the whole thing. But it is a big jump in the market, to be honest. I think Bitcoin is making a big jump. I mean, really everything's up, right?
Yeah. What coins do you have?
Bitcoin, Litecoin, VeChain, Vthor,
there you go.
Tether, and Ethereum.
Okay. Those are basically all the solid ones. All the good ones. My account, I've jumped up about $500 in the last week. And I'm trying to see what it was for the last 2 weeks, because I think it's way more than that. I'm probably like plus $1,500 for the last 2 weeks. It's exciting. It's back. It's starting to surge. At one point, my account was at $14,000. So my total investment into crypto is spread out between I would say like 10 to 12 coins. And I've put in $2,500. So whatever my account's at, I always compare it to how much I've put in. Like, it was at 25. What's it at now? Right now, I'm at like 47, almost 4,800. So I'm getting close to doubling, which is good. But I still know that at one point I was at $14,000. So until I even get close to that again, I'm not touching anything. That's how I feel.
Yeah, that's kind of how I'm at. I lost like $500 when I first made the investment, and then I'm just slowly working my way back to it, and I mean, it looks up. It's kind of promising. I saw one of the biggest jumps 7-day. 24 hour is one called Avalanche, if you've heard of it. Made about 143% jump in the last 7 days and 37% in the last 24 hours.
Wow.
Got a market cap of 7.5 million or 7.5 billion.
Oh, that's kind of high for market cap, but I mean, if you would have jumped in it before that, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's a miss out one.
Did you ever invest in that one that I told you about, iPad?
No.
Woo!
What's it called?
It's called iPad. It's Infinity. Remember, I was telling you guys about the guy I follow who created his own. That was that. It was called iPad, and on its launch date, it was worth less than a penny. Right now, it's worth over 4 cents. So it's gone up over 400% since I last talked about it, which is crazy. I was an idiot. I doubled, right? I put in $100, whatever. I went to 200, and I sold it. I sold half of it, so I got my money back. And I was holding on to it because I was basically when a new coin comes out onto the market, it's usually really, really like crypto is volatile already, but a new coin, when it first gets released, it's basically going through its it's like its testing period where they like see what people are buying and selling it at, and they kind of like discover what it's truly worth, and then all of a sudden it like falls down to that real value. So when it was at like double when it launched that, I was like, oh, this is inflated as fuck. I've already doubled. I might as well get my $100 back, and then once it crashes, I'll put the $100 back in and just like have a shitload of this, right? That was my idea. Holy shit, was I wrong? So if I would have held on to it and stuck it out, I would have like almost $450 right now on my $100 investment, which isn't crazy. Like, you know what? Like, that's not like life-changing money or anything, but it's one of those things where it's like, damn it, I wish I would have hung on to it.
But you know, at least you made money off of it. I mean,
yeah, I got my money
you
back.
doubled your money. Yeah,
but
you doubled your money on it.
It was
Where's
cool.
it at now?
It's still there. It's at 45 cents right now.
Oh wow.
Or 0.045 cents.
0.45, yeah. But yeah, no, I thought it was cool though because I've been following that guy for a long time, and when he said he was launching his coin, I was like, oh, that's exciting. Like, I had no idea how good it was going to be. Like, it could have been fucking terrible for all I knew. But it looks like it's doing pretty solid. And yeah, it's had like 400% increase in the last couple weeks.
Yeah,
So-
I don't. I literally haven't looked at buying new crypto at all since you said that. That would probably be the only one. It's just like the crypto apps are just so weird. And I use
Yeah.
Binance, so I don't like. I look what's on Binance, so that's about it.
Yeah. That's smart. I mean, Binance and Coinbase are going to give you like the safest coins because those are like screened already. They're already proven. But the ones that are screened and proven also have the least likelihood of like blowing up if you're looking for something crazy.
Yeah.
So it's a give and take. It basically depends on what you're investing in crypto for. If you're looking at it as like a stock in a pure investment, like your safe investment, then yeah, stick to the Coinbase coins, Ethereum, fucking Bitcoin. You know, like those ones are going to be safe bets. But if you can get word of one like this, like if you like, that's basically like insider trading. I'm on the guy's Discord and he's like, "Hey, I'm launching this coin. It's going to be good. Buy it the day it launches. It's going to be worth like 0.001 cents, and I guarantee you it's going to go up." And like, okay, so like that's where being on those like sketchier markets pays off. So the one that I was talking about, iPad, you can only get it on PancakeSwap or Gate.io. But I pussed out. Honestly, I wish I would have put like $1,000 down. I could have.
Which are like really hard to sign up for apps, by the way. I tried Gate.io like for a while and it just did not work.
Gotta keep trying, dude. No pussing out.
I just gave up and said, fuck this, dude. Not buying into your shitty fucking app.
Anyway, so last time we talked, I remember you saying that you were investing in Virgin, but not the mobile Virgin.
Galactic.
That's right. How's that been? It was about
Virgin,
a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, that's probably the biggest stock I talk about all the time, just because it's the most fun and it's the most visible. So it was good. So we continue to sell and buy at its highs and lows.
Right.
It's just like a stock that's like, it's really easy to tell when it's going down and going back up for some reason. So
very predictable.
It goes from like $24 and it'll raise up to like $40 and then it'll drop again and then go back up to $40. But you can tell when it's going to go to do that. Right now, I'd probably have to look it up. Let's see where it's at right now. I know we have probably like $500 in it, I want to say. Yeah, for instance, right now it's at $24.53.
So now would be a good time to buy because it's probably going to shoot back up to like 40.
Exactly. Whereas July 8th, it was at $52.69.
Wow.
So
it basically doubled.
we sold we just basically set like buy and sell marks.
Do you set them higher or do you go safe, like 48?
No, I think we went like 40.
Oh, so that's super safe.
I think we bought it like, I think the last time we sold it like 50, we sold it that like high after we bought it 24, and then we bought more at probably like 45. No, I think we bought more at 40, and it just continued to dip, so we just sold all of them, and now it's back down to 24.25. So, we'll probably buy here in the future as soon as we see a little rise in it.
Right.
We'll probably buy it again. Because to be honest, like it's another one of those things, like for instance, like in this whole space travel industry and government contract industry, SpaceX gets all the contracts because like they actually have good technology and everything. But SpaceX just got a military contract, and Jeff Bezos's Blue Origin sued the government for giving them that job because they said it was unfair.
Like it's a monopoly.
So now it's it's not really a monopoly because SpaceX has better technology and they're more in the game as opposed to Jeff Bezos just paying a bunch of people to be like, hey, figure this out. Like Elon Musk is actually like an engineer that
he spends day and night fucking designing crazy shit. Jeff Bezos just has a bunch of money.
But that gives the opportunity to Richard Branson to kind of slip in while they're doing this whole thing and be like, hey, by the way, give me more money for these contracts because I can deliver on them. I've shown that I can shoot a rocket. So that's why you'll see these little fluctuations in Virgin Galactic. We've been doing we've been doing mutual funds and exchange trade funds through E-Trade, which are, very, very slow moving.
Yeah.
Slow, consistent growth for stocks, where you can put like, $1,000, $2,000 in them, and you'll see like a 3 to 10% growth on them over time, and it's going to grow because they're managed by money managers, and you're going to know their long-term growth.
Right.
And that's kind of more what we've done lately. If we're just going to throw, instead of doing, because we're busy obviously, so instead of just throwing money into the stock market and being like, oh, I'm going to pick this stock to do it, and not having the time to really research a bunch of stuff, those are just safe ways to do it.
Yeah, that's smart, honestly. Especially if you're just like, if that was just going to go into your savings.
Yeah.
Like, why would you put it into your savings? Put it into a mutual fund where it's going to actually grow. And it's like borderline guaranteed at that point, So yeah, like I could totally see that. But if you're looking to make moves, like for me, I'm so aggressive and competitive. Like I'm not okay with something just growing 3%. Like that would be that's the same as a savings to me. Like I don't know. Like for me, it just doesn't do it for me. Like I would definitely want something, at least in my mind, to say that it has the potential to go 15-30%. Like those are the numbers I'm okay with. Anything less than that, I'm like, why even waste my time? I get it safe. I get like it's the smart thing to do, but I'm so aggressive.
That's why I do it, because I don't have the time to like. Yeah. Because in a perfect world, if I had time, I'd probably like I did for a little bit. Like I research stocks, and I'm like, okay, which stocks do I want to invest in? Which is the next big market? Okay, alternative energy. Like let's put money here and money here and money here. And I'll research them and see what they're doing and watch them and almost like, in a sense, day trade them. But, who has the fucking time to do that?
Yeah.
Because I certainly don't. So that's why it's like, okay, I want to come home and after work and just kind of chill out instead of check my phone and check E-Trade and be like, okay, I got to watch all these charts and make sure I see what's going on tomorrow and everything like that. So
yeah,
that's why it's just like dump it into mutual funds is better than a saving account. We'll see where it goes from there. We'll pull it out when we need the money to, buy a property or whatever the fuck we want to do.
Right. So I've thought about doing there was a lot of hype about like the whole Roth IRA thing. Mm-hmm. Because you can invest like up to $6,000 a year, and once you hit a certain age, I think it was like 52, you can pull out of the Roth. So whatever it gains over that time, whatever you're invested in, you can pull it and it's tax free, which is crazy.
Tax free.
Yeah, like that's like better than a 401k. So I've definitely thought about doing that. I mean, $6,000 a year, that's $500 a month. You know, like you can definitely make that happen.
I think you can pull out of it whenever you want.
You can, but if you're under 52, then it's taxable. So it would be just like a 401k, like you're pulling from your retirement basically, and the tax on that is like 25%. But what I was getting at with that is with the Roth IRA, a popular thing that people do, like what they invest in within that account in that IRA, is they'll invest all of their $6,000 a year into the S&P 500, which is like the 500 best top companies in the stock market, and it's a collective effort. So like if one or two fails or like completely goes bankrupt, the other 98 companies, or 498 companies are holding them up. You know what I mean? So like, your account will dip by like 0.02%, but on average, those 500 companies are constantly going to be growing. And I think the growth for those is like 8% a year, which is pretty crazy. Like that's pretty significant. Like that is a safe investment that I would be willing to make, because 8% is it's not exciting, but it's like, if I'm guaranteed 8%, like that's pretty solid.
Yeah, well, especially if you're doing like the Roth IRA too, because
with that, exactly. If I know that I'm not going to pull it out till I'm 52.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like that's something I've thought about. I haven't started it.
That's the same thing people kind of do with mutual funds too. I mean,
exactly.
Like, they'll do a Roth IRA and invest it into mutual funds because they know it's going to grow.
Right. Exactly.
Over time. I mean, shit, if you go $6,000 and you make 10%, every year off $6,000, and then reinvest it and put another $6,000 in. I mean, you're making money off of it.
Hell yeah. And it grows exponentially.
Yeah.
Because the 10% you gained last year is now growing at 10%.
Yeah.
And then by the time you're 52, you have fucking hundreds of thousands of dollars, because it just kept exponentially growing and growing and growing at constant 10%. So it's definitely something I've thought about. I know right now I'm mostly just being super crazy aggressive with crypto. But I think if my crypto gets back to I think my goal right now is like 20 to 30,000. Like if I can get 20 to 30,000 out of my crypto investment, I think I'll probably pull almost all of it, and I'll switch it over to the stock market, because then that's enough capital for me to want to invest safely.
You actually make some money.
Yeah, like at that point, it's enough to where I would rather that 20 to 30,000 be safe in an investment now. Whereas right now I'm playing with like $2,500 to $5,000, and it's like whatever. Like if I lose that, it's not going to kill me. You know what I mean? So I'm more willing to gamble on that low of an amount rather than gamble with the 20 to 30,000 if it ever gets there.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, our ultimate goal is real estate, like I always talk about, but. From your trip, you got to visit the Nashville area, which is people always, there's like podcasts that I listen to all the time that talk about people buying real estate in the Nashville area. Then obviously the Nashville area has grown, and the real estate market is a lot more crowded than it used to be.
Yeah.
But I know, you obviously have your real estate license now. You want to sell houses. So what'd you find in that area?
So it's interesting because you're absolutely right. Like people are saying Nashville is like one of the hottest markets in the country right now. And it's really hard to buy because the housing prices are inflated. There's low inventory. And we're hearing that kind of across the entire United States in like most places, right?
Not Northeast Ohio.
Yeah, exactly. But so I went over there with that expectation because that's the same here in California. High or low inventory, high prices, inflation, investors buying it all up with cash offers. People that are actual buyers, like families, are losing out, and it's kind of crazy and hectic. So I went over to Nashville with Kel. He's looking to invest in a duplex or triplex, just to get some cash flow, kind of like what you're talking about, just using it as an investment basically. And because Nashville is growing, it's actually not even hit its peak yet. Like there's still big businesses that are moving to Nashville, and the economy is growing. The housing prices are nowhere near as bad as California. So they have room to grow. Like, basically, it's still not a bad investment. So we went over there. We looked at some. We were mostly looking at duplexes, and it blew my mind what you can get over there compared to California. Like, some of these properties we were looking at, like these duplexes, in California they'd be $800,000 to $1 million easily in shitty areas. I mean, right now a one bedroom, one bath apartment or condo in Concord is going for almost $500,000.
Yeah.
So you can imagine a duplex is going to be way more than that. In Nashville, we saw some that were 250, 300, 350, a ton under 4. It was crazy.
And they were in the Nashville city limits?
In the city limits, yeah. So it was pretty crazy. It kind of blew my mind. I'm like, this is the shit people are talking about, saying this is the hot market and it's inflated. I'm like,
yeah,
dude, this is, people would die for this over in California.
So investment property, you need 20% down, right? So you need like 80 grand for 40.
It's really hard to say. I mean, that stuff is all based on like averages. Like, yeah, on average, lenders will ask for 20% down on an investment property, and actually probably more than that typically, especially if it's your first investment property. They probably want like 50% down. But it really all depends. Like, 1, the price point is a factor. 2, the condition of the home is a factor. 3, your credit score is a factor. 4, your income is a factor. Like, there's so many different factors that go into it that it's going to be different for everybody. So, like, right now, Kel has a really good credit score. He has a ton of money to put down. And he has a decently high income. You know, he works in the music industry. They were looking at getting him approved for, I think it was like 20. No, it was between 10 and 20 down. So, we tried for 10. I think he was like, that's going to be hard to make. Like, you know, because then you got PMI and all this other stuff, and that's not typically something we want to do on an investment property. But it wasn't out the window. So like I said, it's basically based on your personal situation and the lender you're dealing with. Some lenders, their hands are tied and they can't make that choice. Like, nope, it's black and white. You have to have this for that. And other lenders are like, well, you know, they give their loan officers a little bit more freedom. So, yeah, if you're looking to invest in real estate, I think Tennessee in general, anywhere in Tennessee, Knoxville, Nashville, is going to be a huge investment because California pushes the housing market and then businesses kind of push the economic market, right? You're seeing a ton of businesses flood to Texas and Tennessee because of low taxes. So those areas are going to be the next areas where incomes are going to rise. And when incomes rise, people are going to have more money to buy properties. All the properties going to get bought up. You're going to have low inventory, and then house prices are going to rise. So those big companies haven't all moved there yet. There's a bunch of IT companies that are slated to move there, like in the future, that haven't yet. So I think, like I said, like now would be still a good time. I know the houses have gone up, but I think it's still a safe investment.
It's crazy because we looked at properties there like 2 years ago.
Oh, they were probably so cheap, and
they just seemed like they were on the rise. We're like, fuck it, we don't have the means to afford this anyways as they go up. But now that they're even higher and the potential is there, it's just like the only thing is. What I get scared about is having a property across the country, right? Like, you got to have some form of property management company that you can count on.
Property management companies have come a long ways, though. I think on average it's like 6 to 8% what they charge you for the rent you bring in. So, I mean, yeah, that's a little bit of a hit. It's going to hurt your cash flow, but you don't have to take care of anything. I mean, like, okay, say the water heater goes out, they're going to...
6 to 8% of your rent?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, like, let's say between the two renters, for easy numbers, you bring in $3,000, $15 apiece, right? They're going to take 8% of that total. So 8% of the $3,000 goes straight to the property management company. But they take care of everything. They take care of ordering contractors if there's something that needs to be fixed. They take care of finding new renters if someone's moving out and needs to be replaced. Like, they will post it on Craigslist and, you know, property rental websites or whatever. They do all of that. So your only job is to fund replacements for, like, water heaters and stuff that, you know, just basic landlord shit, like new roof every 20 years. Like, you obviously have to pay for that. The property management company isn't going to pay for it, but they're going to find the people to do it, and you just have to give the money.
Which is crazy, because that's like $240 a month, $2,800 a year. So that's like nothing.
It's nothing. Yeah. It's super.
And your mortgage, you know, I don't have a mortgage calculator with me, but your mortgage, you know, putting 20% down will be like what, like $1,800?
Something like that. Yeah, because then you would, if you put 20 down, you wouldn't even have PMI. So it would be a lot less on a conventional loan.
Yeah, so your loan amount would be $320,000. Yeah, so you're probably looking at like what, $1,800, $2,000 a month.
Here, I'll tell you right now. So let's say the property is $350. You're putting 20 down.
I was thinking $400,000. You're putting 20 down.
Okay, let's do 400.
So you're putting $80,000 down. Your loan amount is $320,000.
Yeah. And 30 years. Okay. Yeah, your mortgage is going to be $1,800 a month.
That's dead on. I don't need no fucking mortgage calculator.
$1,882 to be exact. And you'll probably bring in $3,000, and then you'll have to pay like $250 to the.
Yeah. What are property taxes?
Super low out there. It's let's see, property taxes. Let's see the details. I'm not seeing it right now, but the 1,800 includes that. So I have this little application from Chicago Title, which is one of the title companies I use for real estate, and they have this thing that like calculates everything, like PMI, taxes, insurance, all that shit. All of that is included in this 1,800. That's not just the mortgage. So the mortgage alone would be $1,300. But we're talking about taxes, insurance, everything you would have to have, it would come out to $1,800.
Yeah. So the property tax there is one of the lowest in the nation.
It's pretty low, yeah. It's I forget what it is. We were just talking about it. But yeah, so your cash flow would be $1,200. You'd have to pay $250 to the property management company. So basically, at the end of it all, after all your expenses are paid and everything, you're gonna have a cash flow of about $900 a month. Yeah, and you don't do anything.
$10,000 a year.
Yeah, to do nothing.
Fuck. $10,000 a year. So after 5 years, you could potentially buy another one.
Yeah. Well, you would also have to keep in mind that, like I said, you are gonna have to replace HVAC systems. You know, those things go out, the condensers.
Yeah.
But that's like every 15 to 20 years, and then same with the roof. But you can probably milk a roof to about 30 years if you just pay someone to go spray it and maintain it. So, you know, part of that cash flow is going to have to go back into maintenance. But still, you're not putting $10,000 a year into maintenance. So, you're probably, I would say, about $500 a year into maintenance.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you're going to be pocketing $9,500 a year, and you don't do anything because you have a property management company taking care of everything. So that's a free $9,000 a year.
Yeah, and you're having somebody else pay for a house. So
and on top of that, yeah, so that's another part of the investment. That's a good point. The the house itself is going to be gaining value and equity, especially in an area like Nashville.
Yeah.
So you bought it for $400. 3 years from now, it's going to be worth $600. So you already gained $200,000 in equity. On top of that, you had renters paying your mortgage down. So now you only owe $300,000 on it, which means you now have $300,000 in equity.
Yeah. It's like it's a little
Dude,
retirement
yeah, it's
savings.
crazy. Like, it's just like a never-ending, growing, perfect investment. Yeah, and then you take out a chunk of money from your equity, right? You get a pay equity loan, and then you go buy another property.
Yeah.
And you do it again. And then by the time you get 7 properties, I think me and Chelsea did the math. It was like 7 properties with an average cash flow of about $1,500. You can retire, because then you're bringing in about $100,000 in passive income a year,
And literally doing nothing and
doing nothing. Yeah,
gaining value in your houses, your 7 houses. So
right. Yeah,
if
so
you
your
wanna
investments are
sell
still growing.
one, or if you want to refinance on one and pull the equity out, like
You have 7.
you have that ability.
Yeah, you have 7 different ones you can do that from.
Mm.
So it literally is the perfect investment. Like, if I had the capital to make those investments right now, I absolutely would be. I just don't have $90,000 to go buy a fucking duplex or a triplex.
Yeah. We refinanced our house, like literally, luckily the perfect time ever when the rates were super low.
2.8 or something.
Yeah, 2.75. It's ridiculous.
It's so low. You probably saved like $600 a month on that alone.
It was like $1,000 a month.
Oh my god.
We were like 4.25.
That's insane.
So that's like, I wish we would have pulled. We didn't pull the equity out. We just kind of put it back in and put it towards the house. But I wish we would have pulled the equity out to put it in a different house. Those are the things we talked about.
Well, yeah. So in the future, you could take out a pay equity loan, but the interest you pay on that loan only goes toward repaying the loan you have now, if that makes sense. So it shouldn't change your interest rate that you currently have on your loan.
And we basically...
You just have a different interest rate based on the loan you took out.
Oh.
If that makes sense.
So obviously for refinance, we reset our loan, new 30-year.
Yeah, because you refinance the mortgage. The mortgage is the entire loan over the house. When you take a pay equity loan, you're just taking a loan on that chunk. So yeah, like it might be like 10% or something. Well, you have really good credit. It'd probably be like 4%, 5% for the pay equity loan. But it shouldn't change your mortgage insurance. I mean, brain fart. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So that
your interest rate.
The other thing we did is kind of make a decision. Is we saved $1,000, but we're still paying the same amount that we paid before on our mortgage. So
just pay it down faster.
So we can pay it down faster.
That's smart.
Which in the end, if you write out everything in a 30-year mortgage term, your say $600,000 house is going to cost you over $1 million in the end to pay off.
Right. Because of the same thing we were talking about with the Roth IRA. It's accumulating interest every year.
Yeah. So you can take that if you pay down your mortgage in 15 years, you could potentially save like $300,000.
Oh, easily. Yeah.
For what you were going to pay.
Yeah.
So that's like what our conundrum was at that point, was like, okay, do we take that money out and buy a different property and potentially make money off that? Or do we pay this down a little further, figure out how to save the extra money for the other property, and potentially on this house save $200,000-$300,000 by paying it off faster?
That's true.
So,
but you probably have enough equity in your house right now. Like if I were to just give like a super rough estimate on your property, you're probably worth like low 8, like 8.25.
Yeah, maybe a little under 8.
Yeah, somewhere in that range. And you could probably buy an investment property in Nashville for $350,000, which is going to be, let's see, what are you going to need to pull out of your house for that? 80 grand.
70 grand. Yeah.
Yeah, 80 grand. So that's not bad. If you pulled 80 grand out of your house right now, that would take whatever you owe plus 80. You know, you would still be sitting, because I'm assuming you probably have like 250 in equity, if not more, by now.
Yeah, it depends how much it's worth. Maybe 150, 180.
Well, let's just say for easy numbers, it's worth 800. I know you guys bought it for like 625 or something, right? Yeah, so close to 200,000. If you pulled out 80, you'd still have 120 in the current house that you have. Plus, you'd have the 80 to invest in a property. You can get that whole thing started. It's a cool game. Like, honestly, like, there's so much strategy that goes into it, because just like you said, like, yeah, you might be making a move that helps you here, but it might affect you here, because then you can't make that giant payment that you were going to make. You know, it's just one of those things that you kind of have to, like, look at all the loopholes, look at everything from every different angle.
Yeah, there was my boss always talks about this. He's like, you know, the real way to make money is to be the bank, right? So he's always talking about, like, you know, what you should do is bank a bunch of money with somebody, or, you know, multiple people, go in, buy a house outright, and basically become the bank, to where you're drawing up loan documents and things like that to sell it to somebody else on a mortgage loan, to where you buy a $400,000 house, but you're going to loan them, you know, over a 30-year period, that $400,000. Because like we said, like, $400,000 house in the end of a 30-year mortgage, you might be paying, you know, $800,000. So you kind of have no risk, to where you're bringing in that monthly income, to where they're making mortgage payments. And the minute that they default on their loan, which is kind of what you're looking for in the end, which is kind of weird, but you can basically seize the house over if they can't pay their shit, and then you get to sell it again and go through that whole process again.
Right. Yeah, no, there's a lot of people that do that. I mean, you obviously have to be pretty wealthy to be able to make that move, but it's a smart move. Like, there's definitely a lot of times you see private lending and stuff going on in the housing market, and you're just like, how the fuck are people pulling this off?
Yeah. But most of the time it's with multiple people, right? Like,
there's like a group of like 4 people that will do it. Yeah. It's really smart. That's kind of something me and Kel were also talking about, is going in on a property together, like going half and half on a duplex or triplex, and then just splitting the gains from it until you know, obviously we have enough to where one of us can buy out the other half, or, you know, we just go in again on another one and just keep duplicating until, you know, it's making enough money to where we can kind of branch off and do it on our own more comfortably.
Yeah.
Because it is a lot easier with more people. It's one of those things you could just, you know, 80,000's a lot, 40,000's a lot less.
Yeah.
So.
Well, if, you know, if it's 40,000, like, fuck, I could put 40,000 down, no problem. It's just like getting to that next level.
The 80, right? Yeah, the 80 is scary.
80 grand is tough to get to, especially with just like the expenses that you have. You know, getting to even 40 is tough, and takes a lot of, you know, kind of saving and not doing a ton of things that you want to do.
Yeah, 40 is high. Like, I think I can make 40 happen. 80, man, that would take a long time.
Yeah, because I mean, we made 40 happen in like a year, or maybe a little under a year or something like that. That's also with mix, like, you know, bonuses and sold my truck and, you know, different things like that.
Right. Yeah, like right now, I think if I cleared out my deferred comp, sold my crypto, basically just cashed out all my assets, I could probably get close to that. But I would have to go fucking all out. You know what I mean? To make that happen. And even with that, even with the 40, that's not even enough alone to buy something right now. So that's
not enough alone to buy something in Nashville.
Exactly. So, exactly. I could not buy a duplex out there right now.
Relate that to the Bay Area and people our age trying to catch up to
You can't buy a
housing
fucking
market.
condo.
No,
A
catch up to
1-bedroom, 1-bath condo.
the housing market where you say like saving 40 grand or saving 80 grand. I mean, luckily if it's your home, you can put an FHA loan. You don't have to put 8 grand. You can put 3% down or whatever. But yeah, think about people trying to catch up to that here.
Yeah, good luck.
It's insane.
Well, that's Devin, the guy I work with at the county, right?
Yeah.
So he's been kind of eyeing Florida. He's kind of been throwing that up as an idea for him and his entire family. I mean, he has 3 kids, a wife and 3 kids, and they're thinking about straight up just packing up and moving across the entire country because Florida is one of those states where, 1, it has low tax. 2, there's a lot of cities in Florida where you can actually make a decent income. For instance, his wife actually, her job transfers to Florida, and with the transfer, she actually doesn't take a pay cut. So she can make her California wage in Florida because they feel like it's comparable. I don't know how, but they don't take a pay cut. His brother already made the move actually and did that. So yeah, there's a lot of businesses out in Florida where you can make good money, but the cost of living out there is literally like a quarter of what it is in the Bay Area. So he's thinking about doing it not just for him and his own, investments in money flow and stuff, but for his kids because he's like, dude, my kids are 18. He's the one that's 18, one that's 16. I think his daughter's like 14. He's like, what the fuck are they supposed to do? Like, how are my kids supposed to get an apartment? How are they supposed to get on their feet and like get started when a 1-bedroom, 1-bath dump apartment in the fucking ghetto is going to cost them like $2,500 a month?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, California is brutal. So it is interesting.
It's hard to get established. It's hard to come up the ranks. I mean, I couldn't imagine that. I mean, basically, if you want to live on your own right out of high school, like, you got to have a plan before you get out of high school. Like, you got to be doing something that's going to bring you an income.
Yeah.
You got to be like a high school entrepreneur.
Either that or plan to go to college for 4 years.
Yeah.
Dirt broke and poor. Come out with a degree and have an idea of what you want to use that degree on. And hopefully it's something that makes money.
Yeah. Or have rich parents.
Or have rich parents. Or get into real estate.
Yeah.
Start selling real estate.
I mean, you can get your real estate license at 18, right?
You can. So, I've been doing real estate for like 7 months now. I've learned a lot. And I will say, it is super hard. I could see it being very difficult for someone 18 to get established.
Sure.
Because
But nobody would take you seriously.
no one's going to take you seriously. And like, even for me, like, when you're dealing with people that are buying or selling a house, it's like a huge deal to them. Like, it is a very, very big decision. So, like, even though I'm 30 and I've been working since I'm 18, like, I have a ton of experience in different things, they know that I don't have a ton of experience in real estate and that I haven't sold houses and done all this shit. So I lose business because of that. So imagine not having that experience on top of being 18 years old and not having life experience. It would be a really tough. Yeah. It would be a really tough job to just
You'd
jump
have
into.
To be
at a young age.
a real swindler.
Yeah, or jump onto a team. I mean, there's real estate teams out there that are always looking for buying agents to just like pawn off some of their extra shit onto.
Get a little extra money off of that they don't put in work for.
I'm still thinking about joining a team like that mega team in my brokerage reached out to me, and I haven't interviewed with it yet, but I'm still thinking about it. Might jump on board, go full time. I just feel like it would be a huge opportunity to make like fat chunks.
Yeah.
And then I could make a bigger move. You know what I mean? Start getting started in some of those investments.
Well, that's what it sounds like. That'd be the good move to get yourself established, right? To where you could say like, "Hey, I've sold 20 houses."
Exactly, that too.
Because nobody's gonna be like, "Oh, you were part of the team, though." Like, no,
right? Like, "Oh, you didn't get those leads, and you didn't find those people yourself." They're not gonna ask that. There's how many houses have you sold? Like, they have no idea what actually goes into real estate. So yeah, like, that's just their go-to question. But yeah, I mean, I think that's the move, man. Investing in real estate. You can retire however young you want, as long as the magic number is 7. If you can get to 7 investment properties, game over.
Well, I think you're hit right on the nose too with like duplexes or triplexes. So you double the amount of income you're getting because you're getting 2 places in there.
Yeah.
Not to mention if you want to rent one out, pay your mortgage, and go visit the other side of it in Nashville.
But here's the shitty part about duplexes and triplexes. The way to truly make money on them, like good money, is hoping that one day you either have to evict one of your people or that they just move out on their own to go like do something else. Because let's say the housing market rises crazy, like $200,000 on average, on a house. Then the rent prices are going to follow that. But the tenants you have, you're not going to raise their rent to be equal to that. So they're always going to be a lot lower based on when they started. So you want the turnover rate, which is like kind of sad. It's like it sucks. Like you don't want people to be struggling or like out on their own. But if you're looking at it as an investment, like that's how you make money. You want there to be turnover. You want people to be like, oh, I need to move. I can't afford this. Or like,
yeah, it's kind of a battle though. Cause you also want, you want those tenants that are going to be reliable and people you can kind of trust.
Exactly.
And you build a rapport with that. You're like, hey, it's low maintenance. I mean, I guess the property management company's dealing with it, but just low maintenance. Like, you're going to have that place rented out for, 2-3 years to come.
Exactly.
You can bank on it.
Right.
So sign year leases and then boot them out if they can't hang.
That's right. Hey, it's month to month now. Every month I'm raising your rent $50.
Yeah. Hey, you want to live here still? $50.
$50 every month.
Deposit every month.
It's another A's game for me every month.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Well, I think we're going to call it. That was our fucking Barely Shit Drawers investment talk. Episode 5. Episode 6 is going to be next week. And wait. Next week is the 27th, which means just after episode 6, we're going to have our special draft episode on the 31st, which is a Tuesday.
Check us out. Check us out on YouTube, Twitter, every podcast place that you can think of. We're on there.
Download that shit. Give it a thumbs up.
It. Subscribe, download. You don't got to listen.
Or just tell us to fuck off in the comments. We accept that as well.
Yep.
All right. Till next time.
Peace out.